everybody, from Albert Park here in downtown San Rafael. We're just a couple of blocks from the bell tower at that building, which lets you know, when you see that building from the freeway, that is St. Raphael's Church on A Street. We're just 3 blocks away, practically in the shadow, here at Albert Park. That iconic building, this iconic ballpark, and tonight, the Pacifics are taking on the Pittsburg Diamonds here at Albert Park. The Pacifics, who lead the Pacific Association in the first half by 4 games. In first place by 4 games. Yours truly, Stuart Horn. We are here to call it on Marin TV. And in association with Marin TV and the San Rafael Pacifics and Dominican University, I'm happy to welcome in my partner for the first 3 innings, Ethan Estrada. How you doing, Ethan?
Oh, I'm doing much better. 100 degrees back home, much cooler over here.
Yeah, it got pretty hot here in San Rafael today, but it is absolutely beautiful. It's about 75 now, and the wind is blowing. It's a prevailing wind over the left field wall. That finally, this is, I think, the first telecast that we've done this year where the prevailing wind has followed all of the rules. Now, Ethan is a student over at Dominican and is part of this triumvirate that is the Dominican, the Pacifics, and Marin TV. Wow, the fans are going absolutely crazy here, and the energy is palpable. It's thick. It's awesome out here in San Rafael. Those 3 have gotten together to allow people like you, Ethan, a communications student over at Dominican, an opportunity to call some live professional baseball games. And you must be loving it so far. Talk about your experience so far.
Oh, I've been definitely loving it. The experience has been very important to me because I want to do this long-term for a career. So to get my foot through the door with a little bit here and there, it helps a lot. And so far, I've really enjoyed it.
Did you ever think that you'd get a chance to call a professional game after your first year of college? I mean, you're just going to be a sophomore here in the fall.
I wasn't even expecting calling games at Dominican, let alone a professional baseball game after my first year. So I'm very thrilled of the progress that I've made and the opportunities that I've been given to make the progress. And so far, from what I see, it's paying off.
Well, that's great. I also am thrilled with your progress. You have done a lot of work, and you deserve this. You've really earned it and worked hard to get here. And this is going to be a great game as Matt Kavanaugh, the manager of the San Rafael Pacifics, the 25-9 Pacifics, Ethan, as I know that you're excited about that, taking on the Pittsburg Diamonds. Manager is Aaron Miles, and they are 9 games back in 4th place, 9 games behind the Pacifics at 16-18. The Pacifics, of course, 25-9 in first place. And here's how the season stacks up. With 6 games to go in the first half, the winner of the first half will take on the winner of the second half, and that'll be near the end of August, for all the marbles. So the championship, the Pacifics have not won a championship. This would be the 3rd year if they win it this year. Last year, of course, it was Vallejo. The year before, Sonoma. Prior to that, the Pacifics. So it's been a while since Matt Kavanaugh has gotten a championship, and frankly, since I've gotten a championship ring. And I want another one. And I know the Pacifics fans are jonesing for another championship. For the Pacifics, defensively, Javion Randall is going to start in left field. In center, it'll be Don Andre Clark with Michael Stoutinger over in right. At third base, it'll be Zach Files with Rando Moreno at short. Aaron Brill at second base with the big man, Jake Taylor, over at first base. Ricky Gingras is behind the plate. And on the hill for San Rafael is Max Beatty. Get this line, Ethan. Beatty is 5-1 with a 4.65 ERA. 42 strikeouts against 6 walks. He's given up 58 hits, 26 earned runs, a 5-1 record. The Pacifics would love to get through this game quickly and efficiently against the 16-18 Pittsburg Diamonds. Now, you have some interesting stats about the Pacifics at your fingertips, I understand. Why don't you run through those?
Well, just looking at those numbers from Max Beatty, it pretty much shows exactly what the Pacifics have been doing all year. They are giving up runs with the pitching staff. They're giving up runs with the pitching staff, but their offense is so potent that their pitchers are getting victories. Just alone, a 309 combined batting average on the team and an 855 on-base plus slugging percentage, which is ridiculous for an offensive ball club.
Ridiculously great. Everybody, you're watching Marin TV. From Albert Park, Stuart Horn, Ethan Estrada, San Rafael Pacifics, as the Pacifics have taken the field. And on the other side of the anthem, we will have the starting lineup for the Pittsburgh Diamonds. We'll open up the mics now for Mark Carlson here, the PA announcer at Albert Field, and then the national anthem. We'll be right back.
Performed tonight by Lucy John. Lucy is a recent graduate of San Marin High School, where she was in the jazz choir. She is currently a nursing student at Santa Rosa Junior College. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucy John.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose first stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's record of them bursting in air gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Lucy John, ladies and
Ball ahead. And an added bonus in the third inning, the spaceman, Bill Lee. That's right, that Bill Lee, the great one, is here. He will be on the air with us.
now let's meet your Pacifics on defense.
It's going to be an incredible night. The spaceman, Pacifics baseball. What else could you ask for? I don't know. If you love baseball, what a great place to be. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to some of the guys over at Peacock Gap. Tony Citarella and Bob Betham, Steve Ferguson and John Arnold. A lot of those guys they're all Pacifics fans, every single one of them. And I'll bet you I know one guy that they're fans of, and that's the spaceman. Especially Citarella. He's got to love. Hey, Matt Kavanaugh, with a shout out to us up here in the opulent Marin TV broadcast booth. I guarantee Citarella is a fan of the spaceman and probably going to want to talk all about it Friday when I see him. All right, a shout out to those guys. For the Diamonds, it'll be Brett Smith leading off. Smith batting .323, the center fielder. He'll be followed by Morgan Blatnick, the third baseman. Batting third, Rafael Valera, the shortstop. The Pacific's killer, the DH in the four-hole, Joel Carranza, followed by Gabriel Bracamonte, the catcher. In the six-hole, Wes Wallace, the first baseman. Matthew Paculon over in right field will bat seventh, with Patrick O'Donnell, the left fielder, in the eight-hole. Batting ninth for Aaron Miles' Pittsburgh Diamonds is Yuki Yasuda, the second baseman. Smith, Blatnick, Valera, Carranza, Bracamonte, Wallace, Paculon, O'Donnell, Yasuda. And pitching for the Diamonds is Brett Solano. Will bring you his line when the Pacifics come to bat in the bottom of the inning.
Center fielder, number 6, Brett Smith.
So here's Brett Smith to lead things off. Baseball at Albert Park on Marin TV. Our continued coverage of the 2018 Pacifics campaign. Could this be a destiny year? It's starting to shape up that way. The Pacifics just got off of the road, a 13-game winning streak. Then they lost 2. And then they picked it back up night before last to restart another winning streak. Currently, a 1-game winning streak. Well, Smith hits the first pitch, a fastball from Max Beatty, straight up the middle. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 base knock, and here we go. The runner at first, here's Morgan Blatnick. Now, Blatnick is batting .312 with 3 bombs and 25 driven in. Blatnick, a left-handed batter against the big right-hander, Max Beatty. Quick toss over to first base. And Smith scurries back to the bag. There's a good view from our third base bag toward the first base. Beatty, the big right-hander, deals a breaking ball for a called strike. Just underway here at Albert Park. One batter, one pitch, and he stroked it right up the middle. That was Smith, and now he's aboard at the first base bag. Beatty deals, chopper up the middle, going to be a tough play. On one hop, running in on it is Brill. He goes over to the big fella, Jake Taylor at first base for the 4-3 putout. Smith advances to second base, and here's Rafael Valera.
Well, I was a former second baseman in high school, and I can tell you that that is not an easy play. That high hopper is pretty much playing a pop-up, and then when you charge it and have to make the strong off-balance throw. Beautiful play by Brill at second base.
The spaceman, Bill Lee. The Red Sox great will be on with me in the third inning. He's here. He and I were reminiscing about his complete game in 2012 that he pitched when he played for the Pacifics for one game. Fastball to Valera is taken for a called strike. A sold-out crowd that night, Ethan, in 2012, August of 2012. He went the distance, got a 9-4 victory. Went 1 for 3 that night with a sacrifice. 4 ABs. And that night in 2012, at 65 years of age, he set a world record for the oldest man to win a professional baseball game. It was an incredible night, sold out. And when he came off the mound, well, I'm going to leave it for the audience to hear it from him, because something great happened at the end of that game, really quite astounding. A fastball is flared right side. Taylor gives chase toward Jane's first base cafe. And he was able to make the grab right at the base of the screen. What a great play by Taylor. 2 down. He was just out of camera range. The camera you're looking, the angle you see now, fans, is high atop the stadium here at Albert Park, behind home plate. Of course, this is from center field, this view that you see. And that's Brett Smith in the foreground, number 6, with 2 down. A man at second, and here's Joel Carranza. Carranza, a foul ball back into Kirby Cove. He skied that thing a mile, Ethan. That was way up there. Carranza over the years has just been so tough on the Pacifics. Righty on righty. Beatty, the 4.65 ERA on the hill. Smith, the runner at second, 2 down. Big curve ball. And Carranza waves at it 0-2. Top of the first inning and no score. And that's Smith leading off. He is dancing away from the bag at second. Infield's way back. Here's the 0-2. And he got him on the called strike 3. The delayed call. Carranza goes down looking after the opening single by Brett Smith. Beatty gets him 1, 2, 3. We go bottom first. For the Pacifics, it'll be Don Andre Clark, followed by Rando Moreno and Javion Randall. Pacifics are 25-9 with 6 games to go in the first half. They lead the league by 4 games. When we come back, Pacifics will be at bat right here on the 2018 coverage of the San Rafael Pacifics on Marin TV. First, everybody, welcome back to San Rafael. We've got a couple of Pacifics fans here. Boston and Hatham are here. If we can get a camera angle, director, on Boston and Hatham, please. A camera on the booth, please. There they are. Boston and Hatham, you guys have something very important to say, right? What is that?
Go Pacific!
All right, thank you very much. Go Pacifics. All right, Boston and Hatham, everybody. Their TV debut. I think they did pretty well there, Ethan.
Oh, definitely.
All
Great
right.
projection.
That was good projection. Here's Don Andre Clark in the bottom of the first for San Rafael. First pitch is a fastball to Clark, the center fielder, for a called strike. Don Andre is batting .365 with 1 bomb and 13 driven in. He's 4th in the Pacific Association with that .365 batting average, and he waves at a breaking ball. And it's 1-1. Check it, 0-2. Rando Moreno is on deck. And a big curveball is taken away, and now it's 1-2. Defensively for the Diamonds, under their manager Aaron Miles, the ex-big leaguer Miles. There's a cutter up the middle, tough play. Backhanded by Yasuda onto first. And Don Andre beats it out, as Don Andre tends to do, for a single up the middle. Here's Rando Moreno. Defensively for Pittsburgh, Patrick O'Donnell over in left, Brett Smith in center, and Matthew Paculon in right field. Morgan Blatnick at third, Rafael Valera at short, Yuki Yasuda at second, Wes Wallace at first base. Gabriel Bracamonte behind the plate, and Brett Solano with a 4.69 ERA. And Ethan will bring you Solano's line in just a moment. There's one that gets away from Bracamonte, and Don Andre Clark on the pass ball moves to second base. Not second ball. You have that line on Solano, Ethan?
Solano is 4-2 with a 4.69 ERA, 28 strikeouts to 8 walks and 46 innings pitched.
Thank you. 28 strikeouts to 8 walks. That's not a bad ratio. Bottom of the first, everybody. No score. Pacific's threatening. Moreno fouls one right side beyond Jane's First Base Cafe, and it hits the screen. So just a dramatic out, and it's 1-1.
Your attention, please.
Javion Randall is on deck.
To the Pacific's dugout, please, for the Aaron's Auto Race.
Pacific's in first place. And if you're a Pacific's fan, that is music to your ears, no doubt. Certainly music to mine, being a Pacific's fan, as I am. Moreno stands back in now, 1-1. Solano deals a cutter. Paculon in right. Can't get to it, and it's down. Coming around third is Don Andre Clark. The throw comes in, not in time. Clark is over the plate.
A ringing double by Rando Moreno.
Moreno delivers on a cut fastball to right field. Paculon could not catch up to it. Ethan?
That ball was just crushed, absolute on a line. If the launch angle was just a little bit longer, definitely out of the ballpark. That's how hard that ball was hit.
Now the wind has just shifted. It's going a little more over the center field wall and kind of back and forth between over the center field wall and over the left field wall. And I think that side wind may have knocked it down just a little bit. Pacifics have one in, a man on, nobody out, and here's Javion Randall. Javion Randall, everybody, is leading the Pacific Association #1 in batting average with a 4.14 mark. Can you imagine? 6 games short of halfway through the season. And he has a 4.14 batting average. And he strokes one down the left field line, and it hooks foul. Boy, that was in over the bag, but hooked just wide of the chalk. And Randall is even in the count, 1-1. Javion has 6 bombs and 41 RBIs. 6 games shy of the halfway mark. And the Pacifics want to dig deep. Every game matters so much, but I'll tell you what, Ethan, that 13-game winning streak the Pacifics just completed came in handy. Curveball taken and a called strike, 1-2. Boy, that was deadly. Solano's got a great bender when he can locate it. 1 in, 1 on. Nobody out. And the 3-hole hitter the #1 hitter in the league, Javion Randall, pops one shallow left. Coming in, O'Donnell, he's got the grab. Nobody can advance. It was not deep enough to move Moreno to third, one away.
Well, what I've seen so far from the numbers speaks for itself for the Pittsburgh Diamonds. Their pitching has basically been their downfall this year. A combined ERA of 5.61. Their pitching staff is averaging 5 runs a game, which is something that you do not want from your pitching staff. You want to be able to stay in a ball game, which they have not been able to do.
Here's Brent Gillespie, everybody, the DH. Gillespie batting .328. 7 home runs, 31 driven in. Fastball is up and away. 1-0. Big Jake Taylor is on deck. But for now, Brett Solano with that 4.69 ERA has got to deal with Brent Gillespie. And that's a tall order for any pitcher. Stroked into deep center field. On his horse is Smith. At the base of the wall, he's got the grab. Tagging on the play is Rando Moreno. The throw comes in. Moreno slides into third as the throw is cut off. The sacrifice fly from Brent Gillespie moves Rando Moreno over to third base, and here is Jake Taylor, always dangerous.
First baseman, number 8, Jake Taylor.
Taylor sitting on 7 home runs, 30 driven in, and an opportunity to get one more right here. He's got Rando Moreno at third base. Solano working quickly. First pitch swinging is fouled off of the lead foot of Jake Taylor. A 3.36 average for Taylor. Zach Files is on deck. Taylor batting in the 5 hole. Pacifics have already brought one in here. We're only in the bottom of the first inning. Well, there's just a ton of people here tonight. Speed dating night at the ballpark. I see you're kind of dressed up. Are you going to be working the speed dating thing?
Probably not.
Oh.
Not looking for anything.
Well, I
yet.
thought you might be representing the TV crew. Fouled into left field, and O'Donnell can't see it. O'Donnell lost it in the sun. It drops. Taylor is aboard at second base with his 8th, check it, his 31st RBI. Scoring on the play, Moreno came in, and there's a gift. And if you talk to any defensive player who's ever played at Albert Park at a 7 o'clock start in the middle of summer, the left side of the field is staring straight into the fireball that we know as the sun. On the play, O'Donnell in left field, Smith the center fielder, Valera at short, Blatnick at third. They all lost it. It was popped up so high. O'Donnell tried to shield his eyes out there, and it fell right next to him. First pitch swinging now to Zach Files, and that's a base hit into center field. And scoring on the play from second base is Jake Taylor. So the Pacifics lead at 3-0. Files stops at first base, and all this is happening with 2 down.
The offense decided to come and play. Couple big knocks from Moreno and Taylor. They were the good ones. But Zach Files just getting a good piece of hitting a line drive base hit, bringing home Taylor, who was running on anything with 2 outs to extend that lead.
An RBI for Zach Files. That's his 21st on the year. And here's Michael Stoudinger, the 7th batter. Righty on lefty. And a curveball to Stoudinger, the .298 hitting Stoudinger. The strong wing right fielder Stoudinger waves, and it's 0-1. 3-0 San Rafael. Another curveball, this off speed, and now it's 0-2. Gingras is on deck. Solano, consecutive curveballs, Ethan, has Stoudinger just a little off balance. You thinking high, hard one right here?
Definitely.
Gotta use your best put away pitch. Solano takes a long look, Files back to first, out of the corner of his left eye. And he goes another curveball, taken. He went lower on the ladder. It's 1-2. Stoudinger with 1 bomb and 20 driven in has 2 down. And Zach files a runner over at first base. Solano comes set at the belt. Chopped foul, third base side. Matt Kavanaugh's in the third base coach's box, and he's shading his eyes. And I don't think he had any idea where that ball went. So not only is the left fielder in peril from the sun at this time of day, and it'll only last another 10 or 15 minutes before the field is enshrouded in shadow. All the lights are on, but the sun is still burning. There's a fastball taken, 2-2. But for the defensive players on the left side of the field right now, it is tough. And the Pacifics would just soon stay hitting right now, even though the pitcher's in sun. And I've heard you talk about this, Ethan, when the pitcher throws from sun to shadow. Fly ball, left field. O'Donnell looks like he can see this one. He moves to his left, and he's got it. And Stoudinger goes down with a pop-up over to 7. Well, the Pacifics score 3 runs on 4 hits as we go to the top of the second inning. For the Diamonds, it'll be Gabriel Bracamonte, Wes Wallace, and Matthew Paculon coming up. Top 2 on Marin TV's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. We'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. It's a 3-0 ball game in favor of the home team, the San Rafael Pacifics. Yours truly, Stuart Horn, Ethan Estrada, my trusty sidekick for innings 1 through 3. The freshman broadcasting sensation Estrada on his way to his sophomore year. I venture to say perhaps future broadcasting Hall of Famer at Dominican. Could be. Having seen every broadcasting Hall of Famer in the last 18 years, I would say you are right on pace. And that's not easy because there's only a few in that broadcasting Hall of Fame at Dominican. So keep working, young man. Here's the 0-2 to Gabriel Bracamonte, batting .363. Bracamonte, 5 bombs, 25 driven in, and the Diamonds need base runners. Javion Randall over in left field, staring into the sun. Big curveball, hammered towards short. Moreno's got it. Long throw, in time, 1 away.
Your attention, please. Check your purses, check your pockets. A pair of glasses
Moreno
turned into the media table.
had to back up on it. And that was one of those plays where he had to decide, am I going to play the ball or is the ball going to play me? And, of course, the latter tends to get defensive players in trouble. But he was able to hang back on it.
First baseman, number 13.
He had plenty of time, and he has such a strong arm over there at short. Here's Wes Wallace. Breaking ball on the outside black is taken for a strike. Wallace batting .228 in the 6th hole, but a ton of pop. Outside fastball is 1-1.
So far, I've liked what I'm seeing from Beatty. He's hitting his location pretty much with all of his pitches, and he's looked pretty good.
The Pacifics lead all teams in the Pacific Association in ERA with a 4.16. First in opposing batting average, popped up first base side. Taylor's on the chalk behind the bag. Now he drifts back. Coming in behind him is Brill, but Taylor takes it. And the pop-up gets Wes Wallace for the second out here in the top of the second inning. Matthew Paculon makes his way to the hitting area. Pacific's pitching squad, fewest hit batters in the 6-team conference with 26. Fewest walks, and that's a big one with 132. First pitch now to Paculon is a fly ball into right field. That gets down. That'll be extras. Paculon around first on his way to second. The throw comes in from Stoudinger, and Paculon stops. The second hit of the afternoon for Pittsburgh is a double by Matthew Paculon.
for Pittsburgh, left fielder.
And here is Patrick O'Donnell. To continue with the Pacific's success on the mound, they've allowed the fewest hits in the conference with 294. And they have the lowest number of earned runs. And there's one more stat, Ethan, that I'm sure you'll want to comment on as the cutter is taken for a strike. The Pacifics defensively have committed the fewest errors with just 37.
And that goes a long way to helping your pitchers out. That's probably why their pitchers have such great numbers, is because the defense has been fantastic.
2 down, and Paculon, the runner at second base. Fastball away. It's 1-1.
Because defense wins championships.
So I've heard. Offense doesn't hurt either. There's a snap throw back to second base. And a perfect throw, but our base umpire, Danny Speck, says the Paculon scurried back to the bag in time, giving the safe sign. O'Donnell back in there, 1-1, 2 down. Pittsburgh threatens here in the top of the second. It's a 3-0 ball game as San Rafael scored 3 in the bottom of the first.
I like to combine those two sayings. Defense wins championships, offense wins games. Because you need to win games to win a championship.
And you need offense to win games. 1-2 as O'Donnell swings over the top of a breaking ball. Both Solano and Beatty both have their bender working tonight. And there's a fastball popped up. Rando Moreno comes in, and he's got it. And that's no easy task to catch a pop-up at this time of day with the sun where it is. Well, as we go to the bottom of the second inning, the score remains 3-0. It'll be Ricky Gingras, followed by Aaron Brill, and then the top of the order, and Don Andre Clark. The Pacifics lead this one 3-0 over Pittsburgh, and we'll be back right here on Marin TV's coverage, continued coverage, I might add, of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. What a beautiful night for baseball, everybody. It's 3-0 Pacifics. And here we go again. Ricky Gingras is going to lead things off. Gingras, Brill, and Clark in the bottom of the second. Fastball is up and away. Gingras, the catcher for San Rafael, is batting .241 in the 8-hole. And he chops a breaking ball first base side, 1-1. He wears those hose all the way up to the knees. And you know, Ethan, that's the look that I like right there. Although, to tell you the truth, it's not my favorite. My favorite is stirrups and knees and high hose and stripes. Got to have the stripes on the socks. But this is a close second, this look at Gingras. And he's a good guy, too. Fouled off the... just sort of cute at foul, third base side, 1-2. Brill is on deck. Clark in the hole. Bottom 2. On Marin TV. Man, what a great season it's been. By the way, I haven't brought it up yet, but this would be a good time to bring it up. When the TV crew is here at Albert Park, bringing the Pacifics to all of Marin County and everybody watching online, the Pacifics are undefeated, as you know. This is our 4th broadcast, and the Pacifics have won them all the last time in comeback fashion. Fastball is outside, and now it's 2-2. Check it, 3-2. I had a 2-2, Ethan. Did you have 3-2?
I had 3-2.
Okay, all right. I'll always defer to you before I go to the scoreboard. Although I know the guys up in the box are listening to us right now. So I don't want to say anything that will irritate them. And the cutter is away, and that's the first walk of the night. Gingras at first base. And here's Aaron Burrell. Well, Sunday, the Pacifics up in Napa.
Number 21, Aaron Brill.
Check it, they were away in Pacifics in Pittsburg. A 14-1 victory. Well, that's a nice way to break out of. They had a 2-game losing streak, so they went 13 in a row. They won. Then they lost 2 in a row. And now they have won 1. Tonight, if they can win, will be the second of this new winning streak. But the way they got out of that 2-game slump was 14-1, thank you. We'll take that foul ball and counts 0-1. Brill batting .244. Gingras, the runner at first, nobody out. Solano, that 4.69 is in jeopardy. Popped him up, third base side. Blatnick comes in.
Your attention, please.
And he's just on the line, but in play. In other words, when I say the line, Albert Park is so expansive outside of the lines that there are actually chalk lines that identify the area of play, and there are areas out there which are out of play, and it's for safety reasons, so that players don't go after foul balls that are popped up and run into the light standards and so forth. Well, this one was well in play, and Aaron Brill pops out. So he's 0 for 1 tonight, 1 away. And now we're back to the top of the order. In the center fielder, Don Andre Clark. Clark led off the bottom of the first with a single up the middle, went to second on a pass ball, and then came in to score the first run of the night as Rando Moreno brought him in with a double to right. 1 ball on Clark, who's batting .365. Actually, that was coming into tonight's action. He's 1 for 1. Slashed toward short, scooped up by Valera to second for 1 on the way to first, and he cannot double him up. Clark beats it out, as Clark tends to do. Nothing like having a speedy leadoff batter, Ethan.
A speedy leadoff man who can get on base and steal some bases, and never a bad thing, especially with the bats that follow him in this Pacifics lineup.
So Don Andre hits into a fielder's choice where Gingras was caught at second base, on his way to second, I should say. And here's Rando Moreno. Moreno, the speedy shortstop. Boy, the top of the order for the Pacifics is all speed, and the heart of the order is all batting average. Don Andre leads away from first. Moreno, who has an RBI, a double tonight, a run scored, and rolling the bottom of the second. He's already got a night's worth of stats under his belt. Javion Randall is on deck. Moreno batting .282, 23 RBIs and a man at first. Solano steps off, totally preoccupied with the speedy Don Andre Clark over at first base. Snap throw over to first, and Clark dives back in.
Well, Clark over there at first base has 10 stolen bases on the year. It's exactly what you want from your leadoff man, a person who can get on and get over in a hurry.
This is slashed into shallow left, and that gets down for a base hit. Clark moves over to second base. Moreno is 2 for 2. And here's now Javion Randall. And Javion Randall, for opposing pitchers, is the last guy you want to see with runners in scoring position. And why is that?
A .414 batting average Pitchers say they don't look at the numbers, but when a number is that high, you have to pay attention just a little bit because it's quite frightening.
He leads the conference, everybody. A .414 batting average, 6 bombs, 41 driven in. And the 41 is second in the conference, but first in the conference is batting average. Then he's got the .328 Gillespie lying in wait on deck, 2 down. Oh, there's something that dropped out of the zone very quickly and right at the end of the pitch. Taking ball 1. Like a late breaking curveball that the first half there was no curve. That was an interesting pitch. Like a 2-seamer. Randall, righty on righty. And he, with a Herculean hack, swings over the top of a little cutter 1-1. Last time Randall faced Solano, that was earlier this evening. A fly ball to left that O'Donnell was able to handle. But for now, Clark the runner at second. Moreno the runner at first with 2 away. Big curveball was taken, and now it's 2-1. Well, advantage Randall. And this is where he is so tough. Leading the conference with a .414. The Pacific Association's best hitter by numbers. And now a mound visit from Bracamonte, and he wants to figure out what Solano's doing because now it's 3-1. And what would you do here, Ethan? Would you put him on, or would you go after the best hitter in the league?
I would probably pitch him a breaking ball that starts in the zone and goes out. I know Randall has a great eye, but if you could get him fishing for something and get it back more towards your favor, because you don't want to walk the bases loaded for the 2 guys coming up to bat.
But it's early in the game, and if he does something crazy and with a .414 hit, he's likely to do something crazy like hit it hard somewhere and score more runs. The game could get away from him right here. And he walked him. Fastball was low. Moreno moves over to second base. Don Andre Clark to third as a result of the walk to Javion Randall. So with 2 down, here's the cleanup batter, the DH, Brent Gillespie. Gillespie has a little pop in his bat, 7 home runs, 31 RBIs. He's batting .328. And we've seen Gillespie go deep several times, or at least a couple of times, and there's a big curveball, and Gillespie offers the half-hearted swing, 0-1. Big Jake Taylor's on deck, but right now the spotlight is on Gillespie. What's cooling off fast. It was hot all day here in San Rafael, and as the sun goes down, there's only a couple of players left in the sunlight. That's a good view from center field. You can just see how the sun is falling across the mound and towards short. Here's the 0-1, fouled back to the screen, and Solano's ahead in the count, 0-2. Gillespie has that buttery, smooth swing. It reminds me of the club champ over at Peacock Gap, a guy named Tony Citarella. Same kind of swing, just smooth and easy and hits it a ton. Gillespie, the DH. Bags jammed, 2 down. Oh, and he nailed him. Hit him right in the leading calf, and Gillespie wears on that calf the protective gear, and you can see it there as he makes his way to first base. That's an RBI for Gillespie. The hit batsman brings in a run. Don Andre Clark scores on the hit batter. Moreno to third. Javion Randall to second. Gillespie goes down to first with an RBI, his 32nd, and here's Jake Taylor. I'd like to know your thoughts on the RBI for getting whacked. Any opinion?
Take one for the team.
I agree. If you get hit, you deserve it. Here's Taylor. The big fella with the bases loaded and 2 away. indoors. It's 4-0 now, everybody. Zach Files, who's no slouch in the 6-hole, is in the on-deck circle. Well, the Pacifics all throughout the lineup are just tough offensively. And Taylor, a monumental threat, and he popped him up. Shallow right. Paculon's there. He's got it. And with the bases loaded, Taylor pops out to 9 to end it. Well, 1 run on 1 hit, and the Pacifics leave them loaded. But they got 1 in, and the score is 4-0. Well, Yuki Yasuda will lead things off. He's batting .304. Then the top of the order, and Brent Smith and Morgan Blatnick. And we'll have that for you when we come up in the top of the 3rd right here on Marin TV's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. We'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, in the top of the 3rd inning. It's a 4-0 ball game in favor of the home team. Yuki Yasuda will stand in for the Diamonds. Up against Max Beatty with that 4.65. Beatty with a masterful performance so far. 4-0. There's a cutter away. Taken for a ball. It's Yasuda, Smith, and Blatnick. And in the Marin TV broadcast booth with me, as promised, there he is, folks. The spaceman, Bill Lee, to my right. What an honor this is.
Well, thanks for having me. It was last time was a blue moon over there, and I went 9 innings, and I love this guy's stance. He's like a right-handed Ichiro.
Isn't it? Now, what about that? You're right, because he does kind of look like Ichiro.
Yeah.
And we'll see if he squares to bunt. Let's see if he runs up in the box like Ichiro. It's 3-0 against Yasuda, who's batting .304, and he takes up and in and walks him on 4 pitches. Now, of course, everybody knows Bill Lee, his professional career with the Red Sox from 69 to 78 in the Expos, 79 to 82, 75 World Series.
Yes.
Did anything irritate you more than walking the leadoff batter in any inning on 4 pitches?
Never.
Is there anything that would irritate
Not
a
with a
pitcher more?
4-run lead. It's like if this was the Japanese league, the pitcher would have put down a towel and killed himself.
Here's Brett Smith, everybody. All right, so we have Beatty.
Thank God we're in San Rafael. It's not blood and guts. But I meant that he threw first pitch strike for the first 2 innings, and then all of a sudden he throws 4 balls in a row. I don't know how pitchers lose it like that, but he did.
Well, wait a minute. If anybody would know, it
Yeah,
might be
it would
you, I would suspect.
I know. This
Brett
guy,
Smith stands in and strokes one into right field, and it's foul.
wow, this kid, I don't think could hit the ball out of the infield with that stroke. Looks
Smith-
like he's hitting with the Sporting News.
Well, he's batting .323, believe it or
he?
not. Yeah, he is, and he had a single, so he's one
he's a ping hitter.
for 1 tonight. The center fielder.
Oh, he hit the base hit up the middle to lead off the game. First pitch of the game.
The very first pitch of the game.
Yeah, I remember now. This
He was
guy's
stranded
good.
at second base back in the first. He's got 1 bomb and 12 driven in with Blatnick on deck.
No, he's going to hit a ground ball to second, double play right here.
Curveball is swung on and missed.
That was a cutter, a nice slider. That's different than his number 1 fastball. See ya.
Smith is gone, and here's Blatnick, 1 away. Yasuda the runner at first base. Now Blatnick in the 2-hole is batting .312, 3 bombs, and 25 driven in.
Well,
The Spaceman. How'd you get the name Spaceman? I know a lot of fans are writing in. They want to know.
I pitched a great game the day we landed on the moon for the second moon landing. And I threw 8 2/3 innings of relief for the Red Sox with Louis Tion started. Didn't get an out. I came in, I got a double play, struck out the pitcher, and threw 8 more innings. Got credited with 8 2/3. I got 2 hits, fake bunt double down the left field line past Brooks Robinson, and we won the ball game and went into first base. And our third baseman had made a date with a divorcee on the third baseline on a pop fly. And then he couldn't get his pants off fast enough. His name was John Kennedy, like the president. And so I got named by a horny third baseman. And now you know the rest of this story.
Man, that's beautiful.
You don't get to pick your nickname. Ooh,
No, that wouldn't be right. There's a chopper up the middle.
He was running on the play because his only play was the first.
Speared by Beatty. On to Taylor at first, 2 away. Blatnick is gone, and here's Rafael Valera. Your lifetime 119 and 90 with a 3.62 ERA. That's pretty respectable.
Well, yeah, at Fenway Park, if I'd pitched in Oakland, it would have been a 2.64 ERA. So it was like, it's based on no foul territory in a bandbox. You know, Boston, you had a higher ERA, you know, a lot more runs scored.
Does the wind blow over that left field wall the way it does here at Albert Park?
In the summer, it does.
Interesting.
Blows dead to center. And when we didn't have the second story and the wind really howled out, I gave up a one-armed home run to Louis Aparicio over the center field wall on a changeup, and I went, "You got to be kidding!"
Louis Aparicio and Louis Tiant. You don't get this anywhere else, but on Marin TV's coverage of the 2018 Center of Health Pacifics. We've got Bill Lee in the opulent broadcasting areas. The Pacifics enjoy a 4-0 lead. 2 down here in the top of the third. Valera, even in the count, 1-1. Man, reliving these memories.
I love this park. I just love it. I threw a no-hitter against Drake here back in '62.
When you were with Terra Linda?
With Terra Linda. And then I end up winning the ball game 50 years later, you know, to be the oldest.
Well, we're going to
pro.
talk about that in a minute.
It's a miracle.
Now that was an amazing night because I called that game.
Yes, you did. And that was a crowd. I had 3 of my ex-girlfriends here.
That's the first I heard of it. I heard a lot of stuff about that night. Popped up first base side.
And this is
Big
it.
Jake comes off the bag. He's got it. We're going to stay right here to our director for Marin TV and talk to the spaceman, if that's okay with you.
Thank you.
Bill, okay, good. Director, we're going to stay right here and talk to Bill for a little more as Valera goes down on a pop-up to 3 to end it. As we go bottom of the third inning for the Pacifics, it's going to be Zach Files, Michael Staudinger, and Ricky Gingras. All right, let's talk a little Red Sox World Series. What do you remember from the '75 World Series? What stands out more than anything else?
Wow.
I mean, you must have a ton of memories.
Fisk's home run after Carbo's home run in Game 6 was memorable to allow us to have Game 7. But I remember Game 2 because that was my first start, and I had a 2-1 lead in the ninth, and we had a rain delay, and Johnny Bench went on the air with Joe Garagiola and Kubek and said he was going to hit me into right field because I'd been pitching him away. 43 million Americans heard it. You'd think one of them would have told me. No. That's what I remember most.
Wow. That's pretty good. Now, I'm just looking at some of your stats. 10 shutouts.
You could be sitting next to
Yeah.
the biggest
19 complete games.
Now that's incredible. For some reason, the shutout is, it's such a magical thing. When you would finish a game, a shutout game, what was the mood like in the clubhouse? Did it change because of the shutout status?
Back then, it was a thing that happened because we pitched to contact, we worked fast. I didn't have a large pitch count. If I averaged 105 pitches a game, that was a lot.
Now, what do you attribute that to, though? Because
throwing strikes.
All right, and getting guys to ground into.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Guys,
Fewer strikeouts back then.
No shift. I didn't strike a lot of guys out. I didn't walk a lot of guys, and therefore, everybody ran up there thinking they could hit me, and they could hit me. The trouble is, they had these 8 guys out there with little gloves on.
Yeah.
That made all the plays.
Zach Files going to lead off 4-0 Pacifics, bottom 3. And Bill the Spaceman Lee is here in the opulent Marin TV broadcast booth. Man, it's great that you stopped by because I see you once in a while come to Pacifics games, but I've always wanted to talk to you about that 2012 world record game where you pitched all 9 innings. You went 1 for 3 with a sacrifice fly, and that night you set a world record.
I did.
Files
I set
takes
3 world records.
3-0. So let's see. I remember you were the oldest guy at that time to ever win a professional baseball game.
Yes.
You were, let's see, the oldest guy to go a complete game.
Exactly.
And
Get an RBI.
Yeah, and what was the third? I'm trying to think.
That was the third, was the RBI.
Oh, the third was the RBI.
The fact that I played and won Ooh, that's close.
Slash
Bang.
to second base, scooped up by Yosuda, and a strong throw to the covering first baseman, Wes Wallace. Zach Files is down 4 to the covering 3. Here's Michael Stoutinger. Yeah, that was a magical night. It was sold out, and I remember that everybody was going, are you kidding? Bill Lee is going to be here. Red Sox, World Series. But the one thing that you and I have not talked about tonight that everybody was talking about that night was you were also famous for the Ephus ball.
Yes.
Where did the name come from? The fans want to know.
Well, I hurt my arm in the brawl against Yankee Stadium. So what I did was I had the ability to throw a slow curve ball that came straight down, and I could throw it for a strike. So if I got 2 strikes on you, you had to swing at it because you didn't want to leave it in the umpire's hand. So I got a lot of people out with that pitch. I could throw that ball anywhere I wanted. I could throw it down and in, down and away. Mostly I threw it down and in because you had to wait, and then you would roll over on it and you would hit a ground ball to third. I threw 27 in a row against the White Sox.
You threw 27. So just to describe what the Ephus pitch is to the average listener, because we never see it anymore in pro ball.
It's like slow pitch softball.
That's right. It's literally 15.
12-foot arc.
12 foot. Okay, I was going to say 15 feet, but
it could be.
Now, you threw 2 of them in that magical game in August of 2012 here at Albert Park that you won and set the 3 world records in one night. And I was fortunate enough to call that game, and it was an emotional night. But you threw 2 of them.
That
as
ball is
Stoutinger crushes it to right field, deep right. It's off the base of the wall. Stoutinger's around first, and he's going to go into second standing. Stoutinger with 1 out. Has
another
a stand-up
breaking ball. I'll tell you, they're crushing that hanging breaking ball.
Stand-up double with Ricky Gingras coming to the hitting area. So, are you going to say that you invented that pitch, or was that a pitch that came from the pre-1900 era?
Well, a guy named Rip Sewell threw the Ephus, but he threw it more like a shot put, where mine was a curveball with rotation. So my ball actually, because of the rotation, would almost come directly down on home plate as it entered the strike zone. I threw it to Tony Oliva 3 times, and he swung and missed.
All 3 times?
All 3 times.
And was that 3 consecutive pitches?
Coluccio, yeah. I threw it to Coluccio with the White Sox. He swung and missed 3 times and charged the mound.
I don't blame him. You'd have done the same thing.
No, I wouldn't have. I would have freaking tried to hit the ball the other way. I would have tried something different other than trying to pull it.
It's got to drive the guys crazy. And the night you threw it here in 2012, you only threw 2 of them, and it was driving the guys nuts.
Yeah, it was. And I remember the one hopper that hit me back at me, and I made the great play, and the guy in the announcing booth said, "What a great play by a senior citizen," and I flipped him off. I didn't know. 65, yeah, I was.
Gingras to Valera at short, and he's thrown out 2 away. Stoutinger moves over to third base, and with 1 on and 2 down, here's Aaron Brill.
Yeah, it was the greatest game. I'll tell you, it was.
Yeah, where does it rank in your games
it's
your whole
right
life?
Up there.
Because I'm just looking at some of your stats here. You threw 1,944 and a third innings in your career.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Then I threw. I'll tell you what. At the age of 69,
Brill stands in and takes a cutter away.
I threw 374 innings over the course of the year and won the Vermont State Championship, coming out of the 5th seed against really good competition. 35 and over. You got to be 45 and over to pitch. The opposing pitcher struck out 22 of us. I went 12 innings in the championship game and hit a 1-out double to win it.
Chopper to third on the short hop. Blatnick on to first in time. And we stay another half inning?
Yeah.
Oh, great. All right. Bill Lee's with us. We're going to stay right here, Director.
What a beautiful night.
No, man, this is unbelievable. It was close to 80 degrees at first pitch. Is this beautiful? If you love baseball, where would you rather be than here at Albert Park?
I'll tell you, in high school, I never had a day like this. Never. I'd start the game, and when it got a little dark, I was in a full sweater. It's amazing how nice it is tonight.
So you went to Terra Linda High School, and it must have always been a real thrill to get to play here at Albert Park because it is a stadium and lots of people could come.
our field at Terra Linda was up on the plateau. There were no houses when I played in Terra Linda. It was no trees. It was a cow pasture from Silvera and Freitas, the families that owned all that land.
Yeah.
And I remember Mrs. Freitas lived in the house up at the end of Monticello where I live, and I used to quail hunt all the way to her house. You can't do that anymore.
No. And that's so just to give people some perspective, you're talking about the area where Northgate Mall is now and beyond.
That
There
was a
nothing
cow
there.
path.
That's right. That's right. For people who know about San Rafael history, all of that area was owned by Freitas. In fact, they had a mile-long driveway that had the madrones all the way up both sides. And if you've seen the old pictures of it, and obviously you knew it,
I was
and
there.
the only thing there was their house in Terra Linda High School.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Were you the number one?
I was in the
You were
second graduating class.
No, but were you on the baseball team? Were you the best pitcher?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I would hope so.
Oh, I came out of Little League as the best pitcher, and I got up here. I didn't impress people because I threw so easily, but I was subtle. And,
Wait a minute. Let's revisit that, what you just said.
Subtly get people out. I had the ability to throw smoothly and move the ball in three directions, which no one does to this day. I was like Carl Hubble. I had that little fadeaway. I had the overhand deuce. I had the four-seamer, and I had a circle change, all at the age of 9. They tell you don't throw breaking balls, it'll hurt your arm.
Yeah, of
If
course.
you don't learn it with 9, it's like trying to learn Spanish. You better learn it when you're 5.
Joel Carranza to lead things off, 4-0 San Rafael. Beatty throwing hard. What do you think of Max Beatty here on the hill, the right-hander for the Pacifics?
He's amazing. I think he has really good command of one half of the plate. If he had command of the inside part of the plate with a two-seamer, I think he'd be in the big leagues. Ooh, he tried there.
Carranza.
Dropped down. And he can throw across his body, too. He's smooth as silk. He's got really good mechanic.
The DH Carranza in the 4-hole went down looking to end things in the first. Beatty, the right-hander, big breaking ball is away.
I've
And
seen
now
this
it's 2-0.
hitter before. This hitter used to be in the league before, I think.
Yeah, he's been around for a couple or 3 years minimally. He's always been tough on the San Rafaels as well.
Well, he can hit the hanging breaking ball. He drops his hands, though, now. That fastball in, foul ball.
Fisted back toward the parking lot. It's 2-2. Bracamonte is on deck. Hey, this is really cool. So, okay, we've talked about Ephus. We've talked about your career with the Red Sox. We've talked about your experience in the World Series. And by the way, slash first base side, Taylor's on the move, and it goes out of play.
I knew he was going to drop down. He threw the other one. He drops down when he comes inside. It's
Now, why would he do that? Tell the fans.
Why would he do that? Because
Yeah.
he already showed it one time, and that gives him a little bit more speed on the inside part of the plate, and he fouled it back. Now he's going to throw him the big overhand deuce, I think. But we'll see. Let's hope he gets it where he wants to. Here we go.
Beatty
We
with
got
a
the
4.65 reaches to the heavens, and it goes fastball. And it's swung on and just hacked back to the screen. And Carranza barely missed it.
Yes, he did.
You had a lot of ups in your careers. I mean, you had a
All of them were
119.
ups.
Yeah, 119 and 90. And I'm sure some of those losses were tough. What was the greatest win along the way?
Wow.
Two-
Ooh, there's a hanging breaking ball, and there's that gapper I was calling about.
It was stroked into the gap in left center. Scooped up by Don Andre Clark. And Carranza's aboard his first hit of the night. Here comes Gabriel Bracamonte. You
Wow.
did call it.
Yeah, I did. It was
Stay
a
right
pitch.
on this thing.
It was
man.
a pitch
Everybody
later,
wants to
but
hear you.
I can see, I see things that no one else can see.
Of course
because,
you do.
Because I've got, it's like Malcolm Gladwell said in Outliers. I got the 10,000 hours plus 100,000 hours.
I was going to say 10,000. You had that by the time you were 9 and working the breaking ball, and the coach is saying, "Stop throwing a curveball. You're going to kill your
Exactly.
arm."
Don't throw it 3 times in a row, man. These guys, these hitters, you got to have respect for them.
There's something.
Little slider, little cutter
Yeah, a
away.
little late movement. Bracamonte takes, and it's a ball
You
with
gotta-
Wes Wallace on deck. So I played in the 76 All-Star game on that little field. This is Little League.
Oh, wow.
I never played on this
the big field.
on the big field. No, always looked at it, and Uh-oh,
it's
long
a jam
fly ball,
shot. No, it's a
deep
jam
left
shot.
Field.
We're going to catch that ball. That was a jam shot.
Javion Randall hauls it in left field. Check it. That was Don Andre Clark, the center fielder. Randall moved over.
Little kitchenette.
Now,
that
why do you
bad.
call it the kitchenette? I've heard people say that.
That's the kitchen. That's where you pitch guys. After you go away with the ball, you got to come back with a two-seamer in his kitchen because that's where you sit down. Like Lou Piniella said, I don't mind you coming into my kitchen for a bite. Just don't sit down for dinner.
Or he'd rush the mound.
No, he would hit it far. He would hit it so far. That's what big league hitters do. They make adjustment. These kids don't make the adjustments that big league hitters make.
One down, Carranza at first. Wes Wallace stands in and takes.
Good pitch. That little cutter away. Always starts them off with the fastball away, which I would do because the wind's blowing to left. You want them to hit the ball to right field, let the wind knock it down.
Paculon is on deck. No, that's a good observation. I mean,
yeah.
If you just sit here and watch him, he throws that cutter to kind of establish command, get ahead of the hitters with that first pitch almost exclusively, although he's missed with these last two.
Last two, exactly. Now, if he had a two-seamer, I would run it in on his kitchen and get a jam shot ground ball to short for
well,
a double
that
play.
fly ball from Bracamonte was just up the handle a little bit.
Yeah,
he
it
couldn't
was.
get the meat on it because it late break inside.
Ooh.
A fastball was up, and he should have killed it, and he just got under it, and Wallace.
Yeah, ball was away from him. He dropped his back shoulder. He got that uppercut swing, but that ball was away, and you cannot pull that ball away for a home run.
One down, one on. Wallace, a 228 hitter, 9 bombs, 28 driven in.
High cheese up and in.
Fastball is swung on, and missed 2-2.
Yeah.
Where did high cheese come from? I've said it 1,000 times on these telecasts, and I don't know who invented the term.
Eckersley.
Dennis Eckersley came up with
Eckersley.
high cheese. I thought that was a term from way back when.
It was a way back, and he called it high cheese with hair on it. He has the greatest vernacular from San Leandro. San Leandro. That's what you call it here.
Wallace.
Ooh, another high cheese right by him.
2 in a row. Upstairs, swung on and missed. Wallace is gone, 2 down.
You could take that uppercut launch swing and put it where the sun don't shine, because you can't hit a high fastball up there.
Eckersley, of course, was not an old school guy. I mean, I would, if I had to guess, he was pitching in the 80s, closing for the A's.
He was the first prototype jerk pitcher who always pointed and made fun of people, and hitters just couldn't stand him, but he could back it up. That kid could dance. He could pitch. He was an amazing starter, and then he ends up changing his life around, changing his career, and he becomes the greatest reliever almost of all time. Ooh, another high cheese.
Paculon takes a strike and then swings at a fastball, and it's 0-2. 2 down, 1 on. Bill the Spaceman Lee in his final moments here.
Let's see what we do
if
here.
Beatty can get it done. Man, this has been great.
I'd go upstairs again. What the heck? If the fish are biting, keep the same bait.
Paculon,
Ooh,
big
slider,
curveball.
jam. Come and get it. Come and get it.
Right
Come and
field hand coming in is Stoudinger, and he makes a basket grab. All right, Bill. Well, thank you very much, man.
I'll
This
see you
has
tomorrow.
been really special. I appreciate it. Right here on Marin TV's coverage of the 2018 Pacifics. The Spaceman has been here and reliving his life and his career. And the night in August of 2012, one of the, in 19 years of broadcasting, it's in my maybe my top game. It was an unbelievable night. And when you came off the field that night to an appreciative crowd, a standing ovation, you came off, you crossed the first base line, and what'd you do?
I knelt down and I kissed the ground of Sacred Alberts Field.
Man, that was a great night. Hey, thanks again. All right,
Thank you
we're going to take a quick break, everybody. Pacific's lead 4-0, bottom
All right.
4 coming up. Thanks, Bill.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back, everybody. Bottom of the 4th inning. Jake Moles is joining me here in the Opulent Broadcasting area. And Jake and I were just talking about how incredibly excited I was to interview Bill Lee. But, he's a cool guy, and he pitched the night of the one most memorable broadcast of my 19 years on the air, as Don Andre Clark is going to lead things off here. 4-0 Pacifics. And I was pretty excited to talk to that guy.
Yeah, I think you thought I was teasing you a little bit, Stu, but I wasn't. You know,
well, I don't know.
Ethan's obviously great at this job. Max is great at this job. You know, I'm learning, but you obviously don't.
How often do you get a chance to talk to a guy who, you know, won a World Series ring for the Red Sox in 1975, and you know, pitching and sitting here talking to me, and I called a game that we both had a great experience of, right? I mean, the guy, did you hear what he said that night? I knew that he was the oldest guy to ever win a professional game, as Don Andre Clark hits into a 6-3. Well, that's but he established 3 world records that night. You know, I mean, it was sort of a special night. And to relive it with him now 6 years later, it was really fun.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like you were afforded an opportunity to really talk baseball with a guy who can
with a
guy who can really talk baseball. So I could see the look in your eyes. You were it was very welcome. You were very excited, and I was happy to see it from both down in the booth and up here. So that was great.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope I didn't geek out too hard.
No.
But I really admire him. He was a very good guy. I'd heard he was a good interview. I'd never really interviewed him. Talked to him at the Pacific's office once or twice, but he didn't know who I was. And it was nice to tell him about that night, you know, and how I lived that night, right? Because the place was sold out. I mean, there were 12 or 1,300 people here to watch him do his thing. Can you imagine at 60 years of age going 9 innings and winning and getting a couple of knocks? It was a great night.
Definitely a couple notches upon your belt for sure. And not only did you have to have a great conversation with Mr. Lee there, but it's during a great baseball game as well. The Pacifics are coming off of a beautiful 13-game winning streak. They got first place in almost every offensive and defensive stat that you could want.
All the big
right
ones. You're right. Yeah. Javion Randall fouls back to the screen. 0-1. Gillespie's on deck. Curveball in the dirt from Solano. And it's 1-1. Yeah, the Pacifics lead in batting average. They're first in doubles. 379 hits. That leads the league. Chopper to short. Scooped up by Valera. Long throw in time. Pacifics go down quietly 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Gillespie left on deck. We're through 4 complete, everybody. Jake Moles alongside yours truly, Stuart Horn. Patrick O'Donnell will lead off for the Diamonds. He'll be followed by Yuki Yasuda and Brett Smith, 8-9 hitters coming up for the Pittsburgh Diamonds. San Rafael leads it 4-0. We'll be right back on our continued coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. But for now, Ethan is down on the field. Take it away.
Well, after the first 2 innings, the Pacifics put up 2 runs on the board, giving Max Beatty a very comfortable cushion to pitch with. And now after Solano found a groove pitching 2 consecutive shutout innings, it is time for the San Rafael Pacifics' Max Beatty to put up another 0 and for the offense to put up more runs. You're watching CMCM's TV's live coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics.
Welcome back, everybody. We got top 5. Jake is alongside. And batting for the Pittsburghs is Patrick O'Donnell. 0 for 1 on the night. A pop fly to Rando Moreno at short. Beatty has settled down, and he popped him up. Shallow center. Don Andre Clark, 3 steps to his left. He's got it, 1 away. 1 pitch, 1 down, as the sun is down as well. Lights are on.
That sun was harsh earlier.
Yeah, there was that one play where O'Donnell lost it in left field, and that kind of got the rally going for the Pacifics.
Yeah.
It was right into the sun in left field, and you just can't catch it here at Albert Park. 1 down, here's Yuki Yasuda.
Now batting for Pittsburgh, second baseman Yuki Yasuda.
Yasuda walked back in the 3rd. Officially 0 for tonight, and he takes his little cutter outside black. 1 strike on him with Brett Smith on deck. Yasuda batting .304. 12 RBIs. Oh, look at the late break on that slider taken for a strike. That was the most masterful pitch Beatty has tossed tonight. Well, Bill Lee had a lot of nice things to say about Beatty, and he jammed him into center field, and it falls in front of this speeding Don Andre Clark, who just couldn't get a quick enough read on it. Clark usually has a pretty good jump, but he jammed him, and Clark just hesitated for an instant, and that's all it takes. Yasuda's aboard with a single.
Now batting for Pittsburgh, number 6.
And here's Brett Smith. Smith, 1 for 2 on the night. He hit the first pitch of the night. The very first pitch thrown tonight. He stroked it right up the middle, but he was stranded at second base back in the first.
Yeah, when he let this pitch go.
And he strokes the first pitch here into right field. Underhanded grab by Stoutinger, and that's his second underhanded grab tonight. So Stoutinger's been running all over the place. Stoutinger thought about throwing back to first to get Yasuda, who was way down the line towards second. But Yasuda spun and scurried back to the bag quickly, 2 down.
Either Smith's just getting pitched some easy ones there. He's just getting a real good eye on it because that's, I think, both of his first pitches right there. Were they not? At least between the first one and that one.
That's right. He struck out in the third, but and that was swinging to lead off in the third inning. And there's a curveball as Blatnick squares to bunt. 1 strike on him. Now, I mentioned that Bill Lee won the 75 series. He won a game. In fact, I think he won 2 games as a pitcher starting in that series. But, of course, the Red Sox did not win in 75. That was the beginning of the Big Red Machine when Cincinnati and Johnny Bench and Pete Rose and all of those greats were doing their thing. So just to clarify, as Blatnick takes 0-2. Valera is on deck, 2 down. Yasuda the runner at first. Blatnick batting .312. Is 0 for 2 tonight, a couple of ground balls. But, you know, Bill Lee loves the Pacific, so it's great to have him here talking about, somebody who truly loves the team. Big curveball. Oh, and it was away.
You know, you have to forgive me, Stu. I'm sure, as you could probably guess, Lee was a little bit before my time when it came to baseball. But is Lee from the Sanderfeld area?
Yeah. He went to Terrell Linda High School. So part of the interview we were talking, and he played on this field when he was 10 or 11 years old, and then 50 years later, he played here again. Now, this field opened up in 1950, and Bill Lee is, I have to do the math, he is 67 years old, I do believe, because when he set the record in 2012, he was 60, so maybe he's 66. Blatnick, behind in the count, 1-2. It's a 4-0 ball game, 2 down. Valera on deck. Yasuda the runner at first, and time called by Blatnick.
To be pitching when you're 60, I cannot imagine keeping your arm fresh for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. All through your major league career. I mean, the guy went 119 and 90 in the big leagues. Yeah, how do you stay fresh? Yasuda goes, fouled out on an Anderson drive.
You think Beatty's got that much life in him?
Say again?
You think Beatty's got that much pitching life in him?
It's hard to imagine that a guy could go that long.
Most guys quit between 35, 40, maybe 40 to 50, but to go all the way to 60, that's very impressive. Regardless of what league you're in by the time you hit 60.
I would agree with that. 14 years in the bigs, 72 complete games. I mean, you just don't see these things now. 10 shutouts for Bill Lee. And, he's friends with the president and general manager of the team, Mike Shapiro. And I think they're lifelong pals. And, Bill Lee actually threw for the Pacifics twice. The second time, it was a one-day contract, and he agreed to play all 9 positions in one night. And that was interesting. It was not as memorable or dramatic as the night he set the record. Big curveball. Blatnick goes down swinging, and Beatty is getting better as the game goes, Jake. We go bottom 5. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters for San Rafael, Gillespie, Taylor, Files coming up 4-0 San Rafael. On our continued coverage, the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. And now we'll send it down to Max on the field. Take it away, Max.
Well, Max Beatty has definitely continued to insert his dominance over this game as he's now pitched his 5th consecutive shutout inning. And if he keeps dealing like this, it's going to be really hard for the Diamonds to make a comeback. You're watching the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics on Marin TV.
Welcome back to Albert Park, everybody. Stuart Horn and Jake Moles, your Marin TV broadcasters for tonight's game between the Pittsburgh Diamonds and home team, the San Rafael Pacifics. Pacifics are in first place by 4 games. Sonoma is in second place, the Stompers, and we'll find out how the Stompers game is going in just a few moments. It'll be Brent Gillespie for San Rafael, followed by Jake Taylor and Zach Files. Big curveball as Gillespie squares to bunt. Taken for a strike. Gillespie batting .328. He was hit by the pitch in the second, which brought in a run. The 4th run, in fact. There's another curveball slashed foul first base side. Nick DeBar, the Pacific's ex-ace and current pitching coach, had to go right through the wicket there. DeBar was known for his incredible pitching, but never really known for his defense. Stompers currently over the Silverados 7-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Gillespie goes down.
Big man himself walking up to the plate, though.
Yeah, Jake Taylor, everybody. And always an exciting batter. So it looks like the Stompers will probably get by the Napa Silverados. And let me know if you come up with some other games around the conference. There should be one more, right? Vallejo and Martinez, I think, are playing tonight. First pitch is slashed down the third base side past the outstretched arm of Matt Kavanaugh. Vallejo against the Martinez Clippers currently tied 7-up in the top of the 6th. Well, I could use a 7-up right now. It's a hot day today.
It was a scorcher.
0-1 in the dirt. 1-1 to Taylor. One away as Gillespie led off with a strikeout with Zach Files on deck. 4-0. Pacific scored early, 3 in the first, 1 in the second. And then very quiet since then. We're in the bottom of the 5th now.
Those first 2 innings really padded those stats, though. That's for sure.
Fastball is lifted. Center field going back is Smith at the wall, and he makes the grab. Taylor gave it a ride, but it's 370 straight away, 315 down the lines here at Albert Park, and 370 with a 20-foot high screen out there. Pretty tough to get it over that. In fact, in the 7-year history of the Pacifics, only a couple of balls have ever carried the 370 mark here at Albert Park. And the wind has shifted. Well, it feels to me like right now it's coming in, but I'm looking at the American flag in deep right field, and that's blowing over the left field wall, which is the prevailing wind here at Albert Park. .4 as Zach Files squares to bunt. Files 1 for 2 tonight, an RBI single back in the first. Stoudinger on deck, 2 down. Swings at a late cutter Boy, that had great late movement. Solano has a few really good pitches. He's just had a couple of problems tonight, not the least of which was the pass ball back in the first inning, and then the hit batsman, both of which scored runs for the Pacifics. Breaking ball away, and now it's 2-1.
Yeah, despite the 2 errors from Solano up on the mound, obviously very powerful pitcher. Nothing to rest on for the Pacifics here as they try to keep this lead going here in the conference. But yeah, definitely those errors, a hit batsman, pass one up, they're not going to help.
Files up the middle. Kind of a cool play by Solano as Yasuda dives on it, but no play. But Solano kind of spun and windmill trying to grab the pitch, just Hail Mary style. Grab the ground ball, I should say. As he came off of the mound toward the first base bag, the ball was hit behind him, and he just sort of spun backward, hoping maybe the ball would find his glove. It didn't. So Files is aboard with his second hit of the night. And here's Michael Stoudinger. Stoudinger with a double to right was stranded at third base back in the third. Stoudinger batting .298, 1 bomb and 20 driven in on the season. Gingras on deck, 2 down. Files the runner at first. Solano with that 4.69 ERA. And a fastball is swung on and missed to Michael Stoudinger. Well, the Pacific's players, here's the thing. In independent ball, when you start to have a good season, more scouts come to see your guys. Scouts usually hang around the first place team to see the reason that any independent team is in first place. Well, Mazza got picked up and is moving, and he's going tomorrow to play for the South Maryland Blue Crabs in the Atlantic League. And the Atlantic League is considered in independent ball the highest level of indie ball before you move into affiliated ball. So Mazza is leaving tomorrow, and should Matt Cavanaugh need him tonight, he is available. Stoudinger 1-2.
The Blue Crabs.
Yeah, the South Maryland Blue Crabs. Chop first base side and just moves foul. So the 5th pitch of the at-bat is coming up. Javion Randall leads the Pacific Association in batting average. We talked about that extensively earlier. But he's second with RBIs. Fly ball into shallow right. Paculon's on the move. He dives. Did he get it? And he made an incredible circus catch in right field. Paculon was flat out. Yeah, that was like a big league play. Paculon came in, had to move to his right, reach over his body, and put his body on the line. Well, that's how we end it here in the bottom of the 5th. Just a fly ball for Stoudinger. The Pacifics get no runs on 1 hit as we move top 6. It'll be Rafael Valera, Joel Carranza, and Gabriel Bracamonte when the Diamonds come up in the top of the 6th. And we're going to send it down to the field now to Ethan. Take it away, Ethan.
Well, Brett Solano has settled in quite well. 3 consecutive scoreless innings as the Pacifics failed to put up another run in the 5th inning. But now it's up to Max Beatty to keep it a 4-0 game and keep the Pittsburgh Diamonds from coming back. You're watching Marin TV's live coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics.
We're in the top of the 6th inning. Well, good old Max Beatty. Still out on the hill, the big right-hander. He's going to face the 3-4-5 batters. And professional hitters, the 3rd time around, tend to adjust and zero in. Bill Lee earlier in his interview was talking about how big league hitters really adjust. And pitchers, as a consequence, need to be on their toes. First pitch swinging to Valera is backhanded by the Pacific shortstop, Rando Moreno. He has no play. Too deep in the hole. Moreno was able to get it, but that's all he could do. And Valera's aboard with his first hit of the night.
Number 7, Joel Carranza.
Here's a Pacific's killer, Joel Carranza. Over the years, he's walked off more games than I care to remember against San Rafael.
Same with players like Jake Taylor or Javion Randall. Carranza's one of those batters that you just perk up for, and you wanna make sure you don't miss whatever he's going to be doing.
Curveball's in the dirt, and that gets past Gingras, and Valera is able to get all the way to third base. I mean, that's a pass ball when a guy can take 180 feet. Oh, brother. To quote the great John Arnold, oh, brother. A breaking ball in the dirt goes all the way to the backstop, and Rafael Valera not only gets to second, he goes ahead and takes third. A greedy base running move. I like it. Carranza ahead in the count 1-0. Well, it's still just nice out here. What a great night.
It went from being an absolute scorcher to now it's, I would argue, perfect baseball weather.
Hammered into left field. And that's scooped up by Javion Randall. Scoring on the play is Valera. Carranza with a base knock, stops at first, picks up his 19th RBI on the season.
26, Gabriel Bracamonte.
So with one in, one on, nobody out, here's the 5-hole hitter, Gabriel Bracamonte, who's 0 for tonight. 0 for 2, a ground ball, a fly ball. What's he going to do here? Wes Wallace is on deck. Top of the 6th inning, everybody. And we were just talking about how these guys adjust, get through the lineup a couple of times, and now they have a good idea what's going to happen. And Bill Lee was talking about and picked up, of course, on Beatty's first pitch, the proclivity of Beatty to start all these guys off with a little bit of a cutter just to establish command, but not give him something that he can really hit as it rides in on a right-handed batter. That cutter. Bracamonte is even 1-1 in the count, 363 hitter. But if you do that too often, then they're going to be sitting cutter, and this is hammered third base side and just down the line and foul.
Yeah, like all you guys have been saying, between you, Lee, Ethan over on the sideline, adjustment and adaptation is so important. You know, like you said, Beatty started with some cutters, established command, but once those batters adjust to those cutters, what does Beatty have in response to still keep them on their toes and keep them guessing and keep himself up on the mound and keep that command and be able to keep this game going and keep the lead they have for the Pacifics on the defensive side?
Well, Beatty has 4 strikeouts tonight. He hasn't walked anybody yet. And that's consistent with his line. 42 strikeouts against 6 walks. And it's stroked into left field, and all of a sudden, the Pittsburghs are hitting everything Beatty's got. Because he hit it very hard, moved Carranza over to second base, and now Ricky Gingras wants to talk with Max Beatty with that 4.65 ERA. And now here comes the Pacific's pitching coach, Nick DeBar, to have a word with Max Beatty.
Reward your employees.
You get 3 times through the order. These guys start to adjust. And, of course, we're in the heart of the order with Wes Wallace coming up, the 6-hole hitter. 1 in, 2 on, still nobody out. And I always kind of wanted to mic up a pitching coach. And I would like to hear what he's saying out there.
You know, you always make that comment too. I think I'd have to agree with you because after so long, you can probably watch enough baseball, you're able to guess maybe what they're saying, but you still just want to be right there in the action and just hear what's being said to who and what decisions they're making and be right there in the process. But here you can obviously imagine that they told Beatty he's got it. Just keep cool, keep collected. Doesn't matter. They got a couple hits in. You know, we still trust you. You're still the pitcher that we know you are, and he's going to get up there and get some of these guys out.
Well, we can only hope so.
I mean, I want to think only positive thoughts, Stu.
Dean Poteet has made his way out to break up the meeting. Of course, Poteet, the veteran umpire, behind the plate tonight.
You want to talk about having command, just Dean Poteet.
Yeah, that's right. Here's Wes Wallace, everybody. 1 in, 2 on, nobody out. Beatty, fastball away, taken. Wallace batting .228. Leads the Diamonds in home runs with 9. 34 games, 9 bombs. Not bad. Fastball, third base side, and just foul. And luckily for the center Fells, because that had extra bases written all over it. Wallace behind in the count, 0-2. Popped one to Jake Taylor at first base back in the 2nd inning, and then struck out swinging in the 4th. We're in the 6th now. It's a 4-1 ball game. Both teams with 7 hits. Is Beatty getting tired? I wouldn't think so. He hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. Very efficient so far tonight. But getting rocked a little bit here in the 6th. Wallace takes away 1-2. Beatty wears 34. That's Raleigh Fingers' old number. And
legendary Oakland A's pitcher.
Absolutely. Legendary mustache. This is slashed down the third base line and foul. So Beatty's going to get a new ball and think about things. A 4.65 ERA. A 5-1 record for Max. 1-2, curveball in the dirt is swung on and missed, and Wallace will take a dejected walk back to the dugout. When you swing at one and a ton of chalk flies up, you know you picked a bad pitch to go after. 1 away.
Yeah, my dad always said when we played Little League and whatnot that at least they went out swinging, but I don't think I'd feel, even at least on that one, would feel that good.
Different Little League.
Yeah, different. No, I know this isn't Little League, but I'm just saying from my playing experience. I'm not trying to equate the two.
Yeah.
I realized how that sounded when you pointed that out.
Your vast career.
I realized how you said that when you pointed it out. My brother still plays, if anything.
Paculon. Well, that was a mighty hack. Herculean, in fact.
Maybe he'll see our Pacifics friend out there. My brother's playing in Maryland right now, so maybe he'll have a Blue Crabs running.
I was going to say, does he play for the Atlantic League Blue Crabs of Southern Maryland?
No, Gaithersburg Giants. Development team league, I guess you could call. Anyway.
Paculon 1 for 2 on the night, a double back in the 2nd. Stranded at 2nd in the 2nd. Big curveball taken away. Ooh. That wasn't as high as an Ephus pitch that Bill Lee made famous, but kind of a similar look. 1-1, 1 away. 2 on. O'Donnell is on deck. Paculon stands in. And he slashes it foul back into over the stadium, back into the parking lot, the main parking lot. Paculon is batting .300. It's just his 4th game, though, with the Diamonds. And he's 1 for 2 tonight. The right fielder, Paculon. Righty on lefty. Here it is. Oh, curveball is taken high. 2-2. Top 6. And the Diamonds are making a little bit of a move. Certainly threatening. A Paculon base hit is going to score at least 1. Carranza, the runner, at 2nd, and Bracamani at 1st. And now Paculon's hung in, and it's full. 3-2. Big pitch here, Jake, for Beatty. The 3-2. Hasn't walked anybody.
2 runners on.
Pardon me, he walked 1 batter back in the 3rd. But 2 on. High fastball, and he popped him up. Beatty's backing up. Backside of the mound, he gives way. Oh, brother. And a little bit of a communication issue as Moreno sped in from shortstop and called Beatty off at the last instant. And you know, a good pitcher will just get out of the way and let the infield do it. That's what they do best. Meanwhile, Beatty's backpedaling up and over the mound and then back the downside. You know, there's a rosin bag back there. There's a cleat cleaner back there. Anything could happen. Beatty wisely.
I could smell the concussion coming.
Yeah, exactly.
On that collision.
He gave it up. Moreno really called him off, and there are 2 away. Here's O'Donnell, and there's a wild pitch. Everybody moves up. Carranza to 3rd. Bracamonte to 2nd. 2 down. Beatty's leaking oil as 1 run has come in already. But it could get bad fast. And wild pitches usually lead to bad things for the defense. O'Donnell batting .302 is 0 for tonight. A pop up to Moreno back in the 2nd, and a fly ball to center field in the 5th. High cheese, and he swung at about as hard a pitch as Beatty's thrown all night.
Speaking of high cheese, I could overhear you guys breaking down the myth of where high cheese started between you and Lee.
Well,
I heard you finally asked him that.
Dennis Eckersley, he said, was the guy who coined the phrase, the great A's pitcher. The curveball is stroked into left, and that's going to get down and get it done, and that's going to score 2. Here's the throw in from Randall, not enough. And it's a 4-3 ball game. Everybody scores. 2 RBIs for Patrick O'Donnell. And now there's action in the Pacific's bullpen. There had not been any. But on the play, Carranza scores, Bracamonte scores. It's 4-3.
Yuki Yasuda.
Patrick O'Donnell picks up his 14th and 15th RBIs, and here's Yuki Yasuda. And Beatty's having trouble. There's a fastball that rides up and in, called a strike.
I'd imagine they're going to let Beatty fight his way through the rest of this inning and then probably get a fresh arm up on the mound here starting in the 7th.
I wouldn't.
I
think that's a good call. It could very well happen. This is fouled to the screen just above us. Thankfully, there's a screen just above us.
I flinched regardless.
Yasuda behind in the count 0-2. Now, Beatty's got to finish it right here. He's got a runner on. He's got 3 in. It's a 4-3 ball game. And he popped him up. Moreno to his left, right behind the bag. He gives away to Brill. And Yasuda goes down on a pop-up to 4 to end it. As Pittsburgh puts 7 to the plate here in the 6th inning. But more importantly, score 3 runs. And they make it a 4-3 ball game. It'll be Gingras, Brill, and the top of the order, and Don Andre Clark when we come back in the bottom of the 6th. 4-3 Pacifics. We'll send it to the field. Here's Matt.
Well, the Diamonds offense finally came alive that inning, putting up 3 runs, making this game much closer. And the Pacifics really need to put a hamper on their rally if they still want to keep ahead in this game. You're watching the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics on Marin TV.
Okay, well, the Pacifics, everybody, going to have to get it going again after coughing up 3 in the top of the 6th. We go bottom 6, Gingras, Brill, and Clark. 4-3 contest. All of a sudden, Solano's looking pretty good out there on the hill after a rough start. And Beatty with a rough top of the inning.
Yeah, I think Solano and Beatty sort of switched on the momentum there. Solano was the one who was leaking oil, and he's now looking pretty clean, and then reverse, and now you got Beatty having some troubles, and Solano's cleaned his act up and getting things going here.
1-1 Ricky. high fastball, and that slashed out on Anderson drive. Was way behind it, just barely got a piece of it. Gingras is 0 for tonight. He walked back in the second inning. And this is fouled back to the screen. Gingras batting .241 in the 8 hole. 2 bombs, 11 driven in. There's a changeup taken away. 2-2. Can the Pacifics answer? Because it seemed like Beatty, and I'm sure you would agree with this, it seemed like Beatty was really leaking oil there for a minute, and things were coming apart. And, you know, I mean, that's sort of the excitement of the game, right? Guy gets tired, the other team adjusts, and all of a sudden, it's not a 4-0 ball game. It's 4-3, in fact. And now the count is full to Gingras. So this is where Solano has an opportunity to either answer or not. And now it's full, and here's the payoff pitch. Walked him away. Aaron Brill, everybody, an 0 for 2 night.
Now batting for your Pacifics.
We'll come up with nobody out.
Aaron Brill.
Now here's one for you. And Pacific's President and General Manager Mike Shapiro and I over the years have talked a lot about this on the air. The likelihood of a runner to score when he's a leadoff walk. Now, I've always contended that it matters at what point in the game. Is it his first at-bat, his second at-bat, or his fifth at-bat? And at this point in the game, I would think, because the statistic is like 37% likelihood that he will score, that is a leadoff batter walking. Not being hit by a pitch, not getting a single, but actually being walked to first. The psychology that's in play. But there's so many pieces. Yeah, the score, not the least of which the score.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And start off big.
Right, but clearly in all circumstances, the statistics go way up when a batter is walked to lead off any inning. The likelihood of his coming around to score.
It's just a more so than I think any other sort of way to get, if this makes sense, any other way to get on first, being the leadoff runner, being walked sets such a unique tone for the defense and for the pitcher that, like you said, the psychology of it just gets in their heads a little bit.
That's right.
Solano starts to maybe doubt himself a little bit.
That's right. He's starting to worry. Third time through the order as Brill squares to bunt and takes 1-1. So Gingras is at first, and the Pacifics could use a little message back. They haven't scored since the second inning when they put up 1. It was the 3 big runs in the first. They had a nice little rally. But you have to keep in mind, in the second inning, they left them loaded. And the only reason they got that extra 1 run was because of a hit batsman. Brill 1-1. Big curveball, and he's taken all the way 2-1. Brill was not even thinking about swinging as Don Andre Clark is in the on-deck circle. Clark's having a good night. Couple runs scored. A base knock up the middle. But for now, it's the .244 batting Aaron Brill. 3 bombs and 12 driven in. Second baseman Solano, the fastball is fouled off of home plate. And now it's 2-2. So, Jake, you're a comm student over at Dominican. A
Yes,
senior.
sir.
This will be it, huh? One more year.
Yeah, I got one more in me. Then I'm
Right.
done.
That's great.
Then it's off to the real adult world, I guess, as a lot of people like to put it.
God forbid.
Yeah. Oh my God.
2-2. Well, you can still hang out of the friendly confines of Penguin Radio and Dominican for another year. Here's the 2-2 curveball, broken bat,
Ooh.
third base line. As the bat almost impaled the third base coach, Matt Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh came to the Pacifics in 2013, their second year in existence. Played for the club. He was a catcher for a couple of years. And has managed the last 4. This is the 7th year of the Pacific's existence. And there he is, good old number 28 on your screen, as he brings the broken barrel of the bat back to the dugout. And Brill had to go get a new piece of wood. Then he had to put some rosin or whatever, stick 'em on it or whatever they're allowed to do. Find one that he likes. These guys are, so particular about their bats. Got to be just so.
That's how baseball players are. They're particular about everything.
Everything. Every little detail. Brill 0 for 2 on the night. He's due. And he hammers one third base side. Short hop. Could be 2. On a second for 1. Back end. Pulled him off the bag. Save it first. A poor throw on the turnaround from the second baseman, Yuki Yasuda. Blatnick started it down the third base line. And they were able to get the lead runner, Ricky Gingras. Brill is aboard officially on a fielder's choice. With 1 away, here's Don Andre Clark. Clark, a .365 batter, 4th in the Pacific Association in the category of batting average. Left-handed hitter is Clark, as you can clearly see on your television screen. Solano, big right-hander, big, tall, slender right-hander, deals a fastball to the knees, and it's out of play by Don Andre Clark. He does have 1 home run on the season. 13 driven in for the speedy center fielder for San Rafael. And the more the Pacifics are getting looked at by scouts from the big leagues, the more Don Andre Clark's name keeps coming up over and over and over.
Now, forgive me if this might be an obvious question. When you say the big leagues, are you referring to that next conference with the Blue Crabs, or do you mean the big leagues?
No, I'm talking about affiliated ball.
Gotcha.
So
beautiful.
The Blue Crabs are clearly a step up from here. The Atlantic League is considered the highest of the independent leagues in the nation. So more scouts at that level. But last Sunday, when the Pacifics played their last home game here at Albert Park, there was a handful of Major League Baseball scouts. Now, it's very rare that a player would go from independent ball straight into the big leagues. Extremely rare. Although Sergio Romo did it. He played in this very league, and the next year was in the World Series with the Giants. So it does happen. But that's the only time I can remember it happening. And that was in 2012. So, as Don Andre Clark goes down swinging, as you saw, there are now 2 away, and here's Rando Moreno. But usually a player will get drafted up 1 level and then to AAA, and then maybe they make it to the big dance. Who knows? Moreno, a .282 hitter. 23 RBIs, chopper to second. Yasuda picks it up and hands it off to Wes Wallace at first. So Moreno goes quietly on 1 pitch, 4-3.
No runs, no hits, no diamond errors, 1 runner left.
Well, the Pacifics really couldn't answer the 3 runs put up in the top of the inning by the Pittsburghs. And we'll see who's going to come out on the mound for San Rafael. When we come back for the Diamonds in the top of the 7th, it'll be Brett Smith. It'll be Morgan Blatnick. It'll be Rafael Valera. And on the mic, it'll be Ethan Estrada. And Jake's going to stay here, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on Pacifics Baseball with Pacifics Baseball on Marin TV.
And welcome back to Marin TV's live coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. Pacifics 4, Diamonds 3. Ethan Estrada here with Jake. Well, you're kind of my sidekick this go around.
Yeah, not even not just a new set of batters for the Diamonds. Wow, I just lost my train of thought over at the top of the lineup here in the top of the 7th, but also a new lineup here in the announcing booth. No Stu for the foreseeable future. I'd say the next 5-10 minutes. You got the exciting Ethan and myself, Jake, but Ethan, of course, going to take the reins on this one for the most part. He's the genius.
So Brett Smith steps into the box and takes strike 1 from Max Beatty. Second pitch, a great breaking ball, catches the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, I think you're doing pretty well.
Thanks, Ethan.
Of course, I'm down in the burrow beneath us, but
we all spend our time there.
You sound great from down there. As the 0-2 pitch, swinging a line drive, diving stop by Brill, throw to first, beautiful! Oh my! Aaron Brill with a fantastic one-hop backhanded save, robbing Smith of a base hit. What do you think about that?
I think I know what I think, but I'm thinking if you're Smith, obviously you're a little bummed you got out, but how could you be mad at an amazing play like that? That's just pure effort, and Brill put his body out on the line for the Pacifics there, and it paid off.
In a 4-3 game, you give all you got, and that's exactly what Aaron Brill did right there, as Morgan Blatnick will step in, and he'll take ball 1 inside. Oh, man, that was spectacular.
Sound a little winded, Ethan.
As that ball misses up and away, 2 balls, no strikes. I don't think I've seen a defensive play like that in a while.
No, not at all. It's a lot of first. I was actually almost going to say to Stu, between Aaron Brill, between the broken bat and that play, 2 things like that I've not seen in probably years of, watching both brothers play baseball and professionally. I don't know. I just haven't laid an eye on that.
Curveball to Blatnick misses inside. 3 balls, no strikes. After getting a beautiful gem on defense, Beatty will try to pick them up. The 3-0 pitch is called a strike across the letters. 3 balls, 1 strike. A little bit surprised Beatty's still in this game. Had a little bit of a rough inning last time.
Yeah, we between the battle going on between him and Solano, they started almost opposites. The very first inning, Pacifics put up 3, and then Beatty's keeping it hot and keeping the Diamond shut out, and then it flips, and Solano keeps the Pacifics out, and then Beatty lets 3 up in 1 inning, the same way the Pacifics did. And Stu and I almost guessed after
the 3-2 got him swinging from 3-0 to 3 even for out number 2. As Beatty, a beautiful defensive gem, battles back, gets the strikeout, automatically 2 down for the 3-hitter, Rafael Valera.
Yeah, after he just about leaked oil there, I guess Beatty got patched up, and he's pitching a pretty powerful inning here for the Pacifics.
Definitely needing a shutout inning, as the Diamonds put up 3 last time around against Beatty. First pitch, he shows bunt, he pulls it back, curveball misses. 1 ball, no strikes. I still can't get over that play.
I was also just going to say, how could you not, being Beatty, how could you not want to pitch, not only in response to that 3-0 inning that they got on you, but after a play like that from Aaron Brill, how could you not want to reward him and keep that momentum going and make that play worth it?
The 1-0 pitch, that's a curveball that drops out of the sky and into the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Poured that one in.
And a play like that, it energizes people. That was such an electric play that you could feel the buzz around the ballpark as Beatty misses up and in, 2 balls, 1 strike. And, of course, a pretty full house today.
Yeah, this is one of the, ever since you and I started commentating with Stu, I'd say of all the nights we've been here so far, this is definitely the biggest crowd. I think it's because they knew that Forrest Hunt was going to be over at the speed dating event later tonight, so they probably wanted to come get a piece.
The 2-1 pitch, another curveball down and away, misses. 3 balls, 1 strike.
And also, I guess, Pacific's being up 13 in a win streak and then up 4 in the conference for first place. A lot of reasons to come and watch Pacific's baseball, especially on a beautiful night like tonight.
A beautiful day, speed dating, and good baseball. The 3-1 misses outside for ball 4. Valera will reach. And that'll bring up Joel Carranza. As Stuart Horn would refer him as the Pacific Killer.
Now batting for the Diamonds, number 7, Joel Carranza.
Beatty trying to get a shutdown inning. Got a fantastic diving play by Brill. Struck out Blatnick and then walked Valera. The first pitch to Carranza is a fastball that paints the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike. This weather is 10 times better than what I had at home. 100 degrees back in the Central Valley. I'm enjoying my little vacation.
Yeah, I'm sure you're happy to be here watching
Swing and a miss.
some beautiful Pacific's baseball on a beautiful, cool summer night. It's probably going to feel a lot better than that 100 the death oven you're probably living over there in the valley.
Felt so much hotter. That slider gets him for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Valera at first. The 0-2 pitch. Ball 1 up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know what? That play by Brill warmed me up. I feel great. And Beatty looks like he's feeling great too, as Carranza calls time to try to ruin the rhythm. Pitchers, creatures of habit, rely on a rhythm. And you can tell when a pitcher's in a groove. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Although Beatty hasn't had his best stuff in the last couple innings.
Well, I'd argue other than that that 6th inning there, this is...
Oh, Carranza with a line drive. But right there is Stottinger to put it away, and that will end the inning. So, an inning highlighted by an Aaron Brill diving stop, no runs, no hits, 1 left on for the Pittsburgh Diamonds. Due up for the Pacifics, it will be Randall, Gillespie, and Taylor. The big bats coming up in a 1-run game. So what are you looking forward to with these big bats coming up?
I'm most looking forward to just getting some more hits, getting some more power up on the field, and let's see if we can finally answer back at that 3-0 inning from the not 3-0 inning, that 3-run inning from the Diamonds earlier. And I want to see the Pacifics get some answers here. So let's send it down to Max over on the sideline.
Yeah, Beatty was definitely able to get under control of that inning, not allowing any more runs after a pretty rickety top of the 6th inning. But, if he can remain his control, then they can if they get some insurance runs, they'll be coasting through the rest of this game. You're watching the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics on Marin TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, nothing like a little great defense to pump you up. And now the Pacifics have a chance to go to work against Brett Solano, who will stay in the bottom of the 7th inning. Max is alongside. Max will join me the rest of the way here in the broadcast booth. Good work by Ethan. I had to take a walk out to the parking lot and get my sweater. I came to the ballpark. I had it in my car, but it was so hot when I got here. I just couldn't even bear the thought of walking all the way from the parking lot with my sweater and all my stuff. It was just hot when I got here. Ground ball is to Blatnick at third. Long throw in time. And that's how we start with Javion Randall here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, you're doing better, those little synopses in between innings. How is that staring into a camera? What is it like when the players sneak up behind you and mess with you?
Well, you can never really tell because you're focusing so much on what you're about to say as well as, looking at the camera. So half the time I can't even tell if someone's doing something behind me.
It's a cool experience, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, getting a little work on camera like that really puts you on the spot. But you're certainly the most improved of the crew. You've come a long way in 3 or 4 games now.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing good work. Gillespie stands in, and it's a 1-0 count. Good old Gillespie on the night. Was hit by a pitch back in the second and picked up an RBI in return. Soft ground ball over to Yasuda at second, 2 away. Well, Jake Taylor does not want to end things here with 2 down and nobody on.
Number 8, Big Jake Taylor.
And Taylor's one of those guys, when he comes to the plate, everybody in the stadium stops what they're doing and pays a little bit closer attention. It's like when you're on the air, Max. Everybody kind of, whoa, Max is up. I want to tune in and see what Max has to say. 2 down. Broken bat. This is shallow left field, and that's down for a base hit. 1 pitch. Taylor demolishes a bat. Let's hope it wasn't his favorite. And heads down to first base. That's his second knock of the night. Taylor with a double and a run scored back in the first. Otherwise, a couple of fly balls. And now here comes Aaron Miles. Miles is going to have a quick word with Brett Solano as there's a lefty up in the bullpen for Pittsburgh. The Diamonds are 16-18 coming in to tonight's game. Pacific's in first place, 25-9. This is the 7th year in the 7 years of the Pacifics, well, the previous 6 anyway. At this point in the season, 34 games in, the Pacifics have never been 25-9. And Aaron Miles is done talking to Brett Solano and is now making his way back to the dugout. That's interesting. Miles, as he went across, he wasn't even looking and stomped right on the chalk of the third base line. Generally, all players will not step on the chalk of either line. You've noticed that, Max, because baseball players it seems like baseball players are always very superstitious, and they don't like to step on the first base chalk line. But Miles just stomped right on the third base chalk line, not even looking. Of course, Miles had a professional career, so I defer to his lack of the unknown. So the lefty has come in relief of Solano, and I need you to look him up, find that. You can find that on Point Streak, or maybe these guys know.
Number 35.
Go ahead and get the line. All right, so Max is going to find out what's going on, who this left-hander is on the mound. It looks like a big, tall guy who really throws hard and just has a gigantic release, a high release point. But what a follow-through. Holy cow. And Max will be back with that information, and we'll be right back with the line on the new pitcher right here on our continued coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. Take a quick break. Zach Files will be hitting against the new pitcher, and Max is back in the box, and he's going to have the line in just a moment. Files takes a curveball for a strike. And the new pitcher is Cam Hatch. 17 2/3 innings pitched. He's got a 2-0 record, a 4.58 ERA, 17 hits, 29 strikeouts, 13 walks. All right, thank you very much, Max. Cam Hatch. What did I say his ERA was?
That would be a 4.58 ERA.
4.58, which is not very dissimilar from Solano. Solano goes 6 2/3 tonight. high cheese, and Files was swinging for the moon. 1 and 2. Solano goes 6 2/3, gives up 4 runs on 8 hits. Stoudinger on deck. Hatch, a fastball, and Files goes down. He ticked it into the glove, but Bracamonte was able to hold it. And pretty good work coming in. Hatch throwing hard. Big left-hander. Pacifics have been very quiet since that hit batsman back in the 2nd inning. We go top of the 8th inning now. And when we come back, it will be for the Diamonds in the top of the 8th. Bracamonte, Wallace, and Paculon. Just a very quick break, and Max and I will be right back. It's 4-3 San Rafael on Marin TV. Oh, man, what a night. What a night, everybody, in downtown San Rafael. 4-3 ball game, San Rafael. It's been kind of tense. After the 2nd inning, the San Rafaels have put up 5 consecutive innings of scoreless ball. So they had a 3-run first, a 1-run second, and since then, quiet. On the other hand, back in the 6th inning, the Diamonds put up a 3 spot to make this a ball game. But back out for San Rafael is Max Beatty. 2 Maxes in the house tonight. One on the hill, one to my right. My trusty sidekick. Max, where do you go to school?
Redwood High School.
All right, Redwood. Thinking of going to Dominican someday?
Quite possibly.
All right. A good communications program. That's what we're doing right here. I mean,
Yeah.
you are kind of going to Dominican because this is a class. And I think I don't know if you're enrolled. You know you're through CMCM. And we tie them all together. Big curveball is slashed toward third on a hop. Scoop by Files. Long throw. Big league play. 1 down.
Yeah, that was definitely a heck of a play. The one bounce just for another lightning throw to first base to get the quick out. And that's exactly what Beatty needs. Just quick outs here, not run up his pitch count anymore, and just keep him in the game as long as possible.
Wes Wallace with 1 away. That play right there, that's exactly why they call it the hot corner. He just had to put his body in front of it and hope. He has no time to think about it. I'm going to play third base. There's a lot of instinct involved. Beatty. Fastball is taken.
Now hitting for Pittsburgh.
1-0.
Number 13, Wes Wallace.
Wallace batting .228. Leads the team in home runs with 9. First baseman for Pittsburgh. 4-3 ball game. Beatty comes home, and there it is. Pours a fastball in across the knees, 1-1. Wallace has struck out twice tonight. Beatty takes a long look into Gingras and comes home. And that snapped, a little cutter on the outside, Black. A very late movement. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Can he get him again? And he does. He swings at the high cheese, and Wallace goes down swinging. 3rd time in a row, in fact. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Well, here's Paculon, 2 down.
Now batting for the Diamonds.
And the Pacifics are just holding on for dear life right now, Max.
Yeah, definitely. They have a very narrow lead, especially with Beatty's high pitch count. They got to be really careful, really precautious on how much longer they're going to keep him in the game.
Paculon batting .300. Takes a fastball high. Just his 4th game with Aaron Miles and the Pittsburgh Diamonds.
And he's wearing that bright number 4, as you can see as well. Little coincidence there.
Paculon in his 4th game is wearing number 4. That's sort of a magical observation. I wouldn't have come up with that one, but that's why I brought you in. That's what you're doing here. Good work. 1-1. Patrick O'Donnell is on deck. For now, Beatty just wants to get his team back into the dugout, and he may have done just that. Popped him up very high, files at third. He's got it. 1, 2, 3. Well, Beatty looked pretty good there, Max, after looking a little shaky in the last couple of innings.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. He looked like he was almost going to get pulled out of the game after such a rickety 6th inning, but he's really righted the ship now, back-to-back scoreless innings, and quick innings at that as well.
We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning where the Pacifics maintain a very slim lead at 4-3. It'll be Stoudinger, Gingras, and Brill, 7, 8, 9 batters. But we'll send it down to the field, and here's Ethan.
Off the arm of Max Beatty as the Pacifics try to rally and put up some more runs to make this 1-run lead feel just make it a bigger lead, make it more comfortable for the bullpen. You're watching Marin TV's live coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics.
Welcome back, everybody. A 4-3 ball game on Marin TV. Pacifics, Pittsburgh. Pacifics in first place with 6 games to go in the first half. The winner of the first half is assured a spot in the championship series at the end of the season. The first pitch to Michael Stoudinger from Cam Hatch, who came in relief of Brett Solano, is taken high. 1-0 with Gingras on deck. Stoudinger batting .298. 1 for 3 on the night. And now he takes low. And it's 2-0. Hatch has so many pieces to his delivery. And when they all come together, it's impressive. It's also the hard part of what he does. It's the most difficult thing, is to get all of those things in alignment so that he can deliver a quality pitch. Now the high hard one is swung on and missed. And now it's 2-1. Stoudinger with a double back in the 3rd inning. Otherwise very quiet. Couple of fly balls. But nothing that did any damage. Nothing that landed. Here's a line drive foul first base side. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Bob Betham, who's returned from 18 months in India. And I got to hang out with him today for the first time in 18 months. And you know, when one of your pals leaves for that long and you get to see him when he comes back, it's just really fun. We had a great day playing golf today. My other buddies, Dennis and Charlie. Favorite foursome ever. This is /foul. Just giving you some insight into my life, Max. Just making it about me for a second. You know, that was great about Bob when I saw him. I thought, wow, he really lost a lot of weight. You don't see a guy for 18 months. He looked like $1 million, maybe more. All right, here's Stoudinger. 2-2. Oh, check swing, and he definitely went around. And it was dropped for a moment by Bracamonte, who then tagged Stoudinger as he scurried out of the box. But he definitely went around, and that will be the first out.
25.
And here's Ricky Gingras. I'm going to have to start calling Bob Slim. A shout out to Colleen, too. That's Bob's wife. They were gone a long time.
Yeah, 18 months.
Yeah, I missed him. Gingras batting .241. He's walked twice tonight. Solano walked 3. 2 of them were to Gingras. In the 8 hole, Hatch delivers a fastball for a strike. Was he afraid of Gingras? Walked him 2. Of the 3 batters he walked, 2 of them were Gingras. I don't know. Maybe he has history with Gingras. Curveball is hoisted into shallow right. On the move is Paculan. He makes the grab. Gingras is gone, 2 away.
Now batting for your Pacifics, 21, Aaron Brill.
Here's Aaron Brill, everybody. Brill in the 9-hole reached on a fielder's choice back in the 6th. Otherwise, a couple of ground outs toward 3rd. Pacifics have had 0 spark for the last 2.5 hours. They had a ton of spark in the first half hour, and then none since. Maybe Brill can get him going. The 9-hole hitter, Aaron Brill.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to some of the World Cup games out there. A lot of action in the first 5 minutes and then quiet for the rest of the night.
You know, it's tick season, Max. Got to be very careful. There are a lot of ticks. In the dirt. Brill takes 2-0. You have a dog?
I do not have a dog.
Well, you know, I have 2 Chihuahuas and a Shih Tzu, and these dogs, you know, when I take them out on a walk, they come out. They get ticks. Ticks will jump on any old dog. Dogs, but they'll also jump on humans, and they carry Lyme disease. Some do. Deer ticks. Sometimes. Not all of them. Not all ticks are bad.
Yeah, on that note of ticks, an interesting new report just came out that they discovered a new tick in Texas that will make people allergic to meat.
It'll make them allergic to meat?
Yes. It's a new form.
All right. You know, in India, cows are very sacred. My buddy Bob, who just returned from India after 18 months, was talking about which animals are sacred today. Of course, cows. So if they were allergic to meat, I think if you were a cow, that would be a good thing as Brill walks on 5 pitches. Bob had a tick on his shoulder today. That's what I was, but I got it before it got him. I may have saved his life, for crying out loud.
Quality friendship right there.
Not kidding. I may have saved his life as I think about this. It wouldn't be the first time. All right, everybody, enough of that. Here's Don Andre Clark. Scored twice. A base knock back in the first. Clark's due. 1 on, 2 down. Pacifics need a little spark. And it's 0-1. Tick season, everybody. You gotta be careful. Runner goes. Chopper. And that gets through into right field. And on the play, Brill, who was already in motion. Oh, there's nothing like a beautiful hit and run. Clark's aboard with a single to right. And here's Rando Moreno, and the Pacifics have, with 2 out, a little something going. Late in this one, we're in the bottom of the 9th.
Number 16, Rando Moreno.
Well, Don Andre Clark has those 10 steals, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they sent him on this first and third move.
Fans are writing in all about the tick thing. Everybody wants to know how to remove a tick. What do they look like? I don't know. I'm not an expert. I happen to see one today on my buddy Bob's shoulder. I mean, you should see Twitter is blowing up. Stu, tell me about what do I do if I get a tick? I don't know. I saw one today. That's the extent of my knowledge. Okay, runners at the corners, 2 away. Hatch on the hill with that 4.58 ERA. Looks a runner back to third. That's Brill and delivers a fastball for a strike, 0-1. To Rando, who's batting .282. Moreno 2 for 4 on the night. Javion Randall is on deck. You know, actually feels pretty good out here. Well, I had to go back to my car and get the sweater. I haven't actually had to put it on yet.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasant night here at the ballpark.
It is just the slightest breeze In fact, I'm looking at the American flag in deep right field. It's pretty much hanging limp against the flagpole. Almost zero movement. Some nights out here, as you know, Max, it gets cold. Runner goes to second, and Moreno squared, pulled up, 1-1, and now Don Andre is aboard at second base. Save with a stolen base.
That'd be his 11th of the season.
11 stolen bases for Don Andre Clark, as Moreno is even in the count, 1-1. 2 down, bottom 8. Pacific's just trying to tack on a little insurance. Can they do it? Timeout is called now by Bracamonte. He wants to go out and talk to Hatch.
Well, yeah, he better. It's because as Rondo has 41 RBIs, and with 2 runners in position, they got to be very careful. He is truly deadly with runners in scoring position.
Rando Moreno, a .282 hitter. Javion Randall is on deck. So as Max said, Moreno does something good, and you're going to have Randall come up with 41 RBIs if Moreno can do something good. Randall is second in the league with those 41 driven in. 1-1. And he swings at a breaking ball, 1-2. Can the Pacifics tack on one more? Hatch wants a new ball. Dean Poteet looks it over, rubs it off, and puts it in the sack. That one might go back into play at some point. That's a rarity. You just don't see that. The home plate umpire takes it and puts it back in the bag. Here's the 1-2. Moreno really bent over. Oh, and he just fisted it foul first base side. We'll do it again. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up, everybody. Well, what a night it's been. Pacifics got off to a great start. Then we had Bill Lee in for an inning and a half. The spaceman Bill Lee talking about his career. And the world record-setting game back in 2012 where he was the oldest guy to ever pitch and win a professional ball game. Fastball is up, taken 2-2. And my connection with that was I called that game on PacificsBaseball.com. A sold-out crowd and then some, because people were still pouring in the 7th inning when it looked like he might win the game. Well, he did. It was 9-3. Pacifics with some great defense that night. Strike 3. Moreno watched it go, and the Pacifics rally ends with a big dud. And that hurts. They got a little something going, hit and run, all kinds of cool stuff, but they couldn't get one across. We go top 9. Last chance for Aaron Miles, the Pittsburgh Diamonds. It'll be the 8-9-1 batters in Patrick O'Donnell, Yuki Yasuda, and Brett Smith. When we come back on our continued coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics, but for now we'll send it down to the field, and here is Ethan Estrada.
Well, here we go. It is the top of the 9th. The Pacifics have a 1-run lead. And it looks like Max Beatty will try to finish what he started. He'll have the 8-9-1 hitters coming up to try to lock down this 4-3 victory. You're watching Marin TV's live coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Top of the 9th. This half inning brought to you by tick removal of San Anselmo. Now I have my Pacific sweater on. Getting cold. Patrick O'Donnell is going to lead off. This is the last chance for Aaron Miles and the Pittsburghs. A fastball is taken. Every pitch just so absolutely valuable to the Pacifics at this point in the contest. Takes on new meaning. Closing out these games is just no easy feat. Those last 3 outs are certainly the toughest 3. A fly ball to right field. And on the move is Stoutinger, and he's got it 1 away.
Yeah, Yeah, the pressure's definitely on both teams as the Pacifics failed to put up a run last inning with only a 1-run lead.
Yuki Yasuda.
Beatty's back out there. And I failed to mention this when we came back. But Matt Kavanaugh is going to give him a chance to go the distance. Although I can't imagine he's going to leave him out for too long. Like Jose Casilla is warming up in the Pacific's bullpen. The brilliant Pacific's closer. And Yuki Yasuda stands in and takes a strike. Fly ball to deep left field. This is at the wall, and it hits the base of the wall. Yasuda pounded it, takes a big turnaround first. The throw in from Javion Randall is not in time, and Yasuda stands up going into second. And he let it fly there, Max, and for an instant, had there been any wind at all, I think that was gone because it hit the bottom of the fence right at the Bradley real estate sign.
Yeah, and that's probably the end of Beatty right there.
Yeah, I think here comes Matt. Well, we've got Matt Kavanaugh and the entire team, and Beatty's gone. And I think that's a good call. Well, they're going to bring in the right-hander to close the deal, and we'll have the line on the new pitcher in just a moment. So Max Beatty goes 8 1/3. He gives up 3 runs on 9 hits to the Diamonds. And as Max anticipated, Matt Kavanaugh on a very short leash. Max has run out to get the line on the new pitcher, and we'll have that for you in just a moment. But now the tying run is at second base, and perhaps more importantly, the go-ahead run is at the plate. And that's Brett Smith. Smith on the night is 1 for 4. Back all the way back in the first inning, he hit the very first pitch of the night, which was delivered, of course, by Beatty, and almost exactly 3 hours ago. Check that, 2 hours and 47 minutes ago. So the game's been moving pretty quickly, mostly because the Pacifics haven't done anything offensively since late in the second.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for your Pacifics.
And for the Pacifics, it will be Chris Mazza. Mazza, the great right-hander, who in his final opportunity to work for the Pacifics before he heads out tomorrow morning, literally, to play in the Atlantic League. He was drafted by the South Maryland Blue Crabs. The Blue Crabs in South Maryland. And in the Atlantic League, on his way to AAA ball. So, I mean, one would hope, because you go Atlantic League and then you go AAA. So, there are a lot of steps, but that moving to the Atlantic League is a big step up. He's a side-slinging right-hander who's real tough to hit. And this will be the last we see of Mazza.
For Pittsburgh, number 6,
His record
Brett
in 2018, 3-2, and a .60 ERA in 16 games. 30 innings pitched, 30 strikeouts, 5 walks, 24 hits. A .60 ERA. Mazza. You may hear about Mazza down the road. This guy's got quality stuff. He's got the tying run at second base with 1 away. First pitch to Brett Smith is high, 1-0. Bladnick is on deck. Can Mazza save it for the Pacifics in his final appearance with the club? Slash first base line and foul, 1-1. Smith got a good piece of it. And Mazza has no room for error. Tying run at second base is Yasuda. Mazza batting .323 with 1 bomb and 12 driven in this season. Long look indoors, fouled him off on a check swing. 1-2. Kind of jammed him with some high heat. Smith couldn't hold up. Fouled it off just above the fingertips. It's not one of those freezing nights out here at Albert Park. It's a beautiful night. One of those really cold nights, a foul ball like that could hurt. Now Mazza looks the runner back to second. Here it is. Big curveball is taken away. 2-2. Marin TV's coverage of the 2018 Pacifics so far, perfect. Every game we've covered, the Pacifics have won. Of course, the Pacifics have won just about everything, 25-9 in first place. 2-2, and he got him swinging. It pops out of the glove of Gingras, who fires down to first. Yasuda can't advance. 2 down. Well, Mazza came in and did what he needed to do, and that was get Smith
Now batting for Pittsburgh,
without allowing Yasuda to advance.
Morgan Blatnick.
Yeah, it'd be very special if he could close out his Pacific's career with a save right now as well, keeping the Marin TV record alive.
Morgan Blatnick, everybody. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the most important part.
Obviously.
The Marin TV record stays intact as Yasuda now has been replaced with a pinch runner.
Your attention, please. Running at second.
And the pinch runner
Number 1,
for the
Jose
Pittsburghs
Garcia.
is Jose Garcia. And Garcia is going stirrups. He's going hose to the knees and stripes. My favorite look. We talked about it earlier. I hope that's not some sort of a sign. Mazza deals to Blatnick. Taken away 1-0. Looked like a good pitch. Low release point for Mazza. It drops down a little bit and releases it about elbow height. There's a fastball, and that's away 2-0. Mazza's last night with the club. This is it. He's on a plane tomorrow to Southern Maryland to play with the Blue Crabs in the Atlantic League. Braves affiliate, I believe. Big long look now into Gingras, and he steps off. Blatnick steps out. Everybody resets. Garcia, the runner at second. Curveball is a called strike. Ooh, that looked high from here.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a bittersweet moment because it's so great seeing him advance on to the next level, but it's going to be sad watching him go.
Well, it's always that way in indie ball. You know, these guys, they're groomed by the experience here at this level to move up. So you're right, it is very bittersweet. And you get a guy like Mazza with that .60 ERA. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and if you look at that, especially over the span in which he's had to withhold that .6, it's just so incredible.
Leading the league, .60, tying run at second. Blatnick, and this gets past Gingras on a check swing strike. And now it's 2-2. On the play, Yasuda. That's a pass ball because of the strike call. So that's on Gingras. Not an error. One of the interesting pieces of the rules of baseball, wild pitches and pass balls are not considered errors, and the principle behind that is because both of those things happen because every single play the battery's involved. Blatnick stands in. Tying run at third. 2-2, 2 down. Here in the ninth, Mazza stands tall, comes set. towards second base. This could do it. Brill's up with it. On to Jake. Ball game. Aaron Brill is able to get it done. Mazza comes in and saves the day. Blatnick ends it with a 4-3. 4 runs on 9 hits, no errors for the Pacifics. 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Diamonds. The Pacifics improve to 26-9.
And the save to Chris Mazza.
Max Beatty with the win, Mazza with the save. Diamonds go to 16 wins, 19 losses.
Thank you for visiting Albert Park.
And
See you again in the near
Solano is the losing pitcher.
future. Tomorrow at 7
Well, the Pacifics get it done after scoring their 4 runs in the first 2 innings and nothing since. Somehow they hang in there, and it's great defense that wins this one.
And if a member of your
For Ethan, for Max, for Jake, for Scott Calhoun, and everybody at Marin TV, we appreciate you spending your evening with us, and we'll see you next time. It's a week from Thursday. We're back on the air right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. We'll see you next time, everybody.